Dave, think about what you're going to say before you say it, okay?
Cundy, mate,
You've got time to think about it, okay?
You are.
He's annoying me.
Take it away.
Dave, he's annoying me.
Yeah, mate, your canister is way bigger than your brain, mate. I swear down.
Say it then, Dave. Say it. So here's the situation. I'm going to throw it to you. Do you want the job? Do you want the job?
It's career suicide, Cundy. It's career suicide. If you went to Real Madrid, right, you have 6 months, you'd oust Mbappe, you'd get ousted by the fans, and then you'd be done. Right? At Villa, I'll tell you what, he could play bloody Tyrone Mings as striker, and I'd still trust the process. Do you know what I mean?
Are you saying he's going to say no to Real Madrid?
Yes. Cundy, give Red a ball, mate. You're Chelsea. Where are you? 9th?
I tend to agree with you.
I don't know what to say today.
No, I get the whole. I get Jake.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With the headlines up 1 minute past 1, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. With Villa as Europa League champions, has Morgan Rogers staked an insurmountable claim for the England number 10 shirt this summer? Gabby Agbonlahor thinks so.
I think he's going to be one of our key players for the tournament, and the Thomas Tuchel loves him. Unai Emery has played him in every game this season. He hasn't been rested once. I think it's going to be a big part of what England do in the World Cup, Jim.
Well, what a season it's been for Villa. At least the top 5 place in the Premier League and Europa League champions. Even Simon Jordan's impressed.
Villa have punched massively above their current weight. Not the scale of the football club, but the economic weight they have in comparison with other teams that are there doing better than.
Yeah.
And to win the second tier of European trophies is pretty bloody good.
They'll celebrate with an open-top bus parade around Birmingham this afternoon. No celebrations on the south coast, though. Tonda Eckert's at the Southampton training ground and has met with the players this morning. Owner Dragan Solak is said to be furious and en route as the FA opens its own investigation into the individuals around Spygate. Meanwhile, the club has begun to refund supporters who had bought tickets for this weekend's Championship playoff final. Now, as Middlesbrough prepare to take their place, would they have an asterisk next to their promotion should they win? Football legal expert Stephen Borson says no.
They've been fortunate that they happened to play Southampton, who happened to spy on them, but then happened to be expelled. They've benefited from that. They now need to go and win the game, and I think we'll forget about it in due course.
Remember that Championship playoff final is live on talkSPORT this weekend. 3:30 is the kick-off time. And it's our understanding Dean Henderson will be named in the England squad, but he'll report to the camp late as a result of the Conference League final. England may call up another goalkeeper for the pre-tournament training camp. Get more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The Chancellor's announced a temporary cut to VAT on summer holiday attractions like cinemas and zoos, and net migration almost halved last year. Amelia's back at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 400 EV-ready centres across the UK, we're top of the league for electric car owners. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Cloudy and breezy in the north and northwest with a few outbreaks of rain. Elsewhere, warm and sunny spells developing through the afternoon.
It's Danny Dyer! Wig, not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
I'm
loyal.
Don't tell Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yeah.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, Charlie? Please tell us. what's coming up.
Coming up over the next 3 hours, the continuing fallout from Spygate. Villa fans, both at home and in Istanbul, react to last night's Europa League victory. And Tim Vickery has the latest from South America on their World Cup squads.
That's right. We'll also put up a few Sporting Blue plaques, plus your Emi Martinez broken finger stories. And Chat GPT signs off for the season.
Oh, sad. There's all this, plus we'll chat to the author of a new book on Diego Maradona's sorry end. And we'll bring you another waste of half an hour kids game, the birthday spread.
That's it.
That's it, is it? Thank you. Thanks for coming.
We can get off. Well played in the spread today. You lost by going the wrong way at the last minute.
I did. Well, what a surprise.
We all know what's going to happen. It's 6 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Paul. Congratulations to Villa.
Yeah, brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, very comfortable. I mean, I've got to be honest, going
Really
into the game, I expected they're always going to have too much for Freiburg, but you never know what happens in a cup final. But if Villa were at it, then they were always going to beat them, you felt.
Yeah, very much so.
Emi Brendir just has some such great moments, doesn't he? He
really
just turns it on, scores great.
Not that one he missed in the second half. But
no. Generally, I just, he is some player, and he's had sort of fair few cameos for the team, but every time I see him, he looks dangerous.
Well, our first guest, Dan Bardell, we were going to speak to at some point. Is he first?
Yeah, he's joined us first. Yeah.
He called it. He called it that Brendir would score. He had it in his water.
Think he has. He's one of those players that generally only needs a couple of chances to put one away. Having said that, he did miss a bit of a glare, but ultimately in the scheme of things, it didn't matter. But it sounds like everybody had a great time.
Yes.
I know you chatted to Dan yesterday.
He did.
He did what Max Rushton did for the Champions League Spurs-Liverpool. He didn't go. He watched the game with his dad.
Yeah.
So I can understand the sentimental pull of that.
Oh, I think you did the right thing, definitely.
But Rupert Bell went, and if you've been following Rupert on social media, he's not had a bottle of red wine out of his hand for about the past 48 hours.
Rupert, as someone who's done Vox Pops for this show in the past, Paul, normally around Cheltenham
He did some
Racecourse.
Vox Pops for you yesterday.
Yes, and wow, I tell you what.
I think we might play it back.
I'd like a series of it, Paul. It was
really
absolutely sensational.
Well, I think we might, for those that missed it, and I missed it, so I'm looking forward to hearing it back. So we will, we'll live from Rupert before he gets on the plane at Istanbul to come home, but we will give you a little taste of his Vox Pops with the Villa fans yesterday.
No, we had you on yesterday, Paul. But is there anything nice? Is there anything nice you'd like to say to Arsenal fans?
I just wanted a day off. I just thought so depressing Tuesday night. I thought I want a day off, and then the producer called and said, Charlie wonders if you'd like to come on. I don't want to say no to Charlie. I don't want to be that guy, But yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, I can't say it's taking up a lot of my brain space. This game on Sunday? Well, I'm just trying to say, as I said to you and Max yesterday, all you can do is get behind the lads. We've reached the stage. There's no point for recriminations. We can't rail against bad decisions. It won't make any difference. We can't do anything but say they're the players we've got. We've only really got 13, 14 players, one on one leg in James Maddison who can make a difference. We just got to do everything to get them over the line if we can, despite the evidence to the contrary. But that's all we can do. Just put a bit of faith in them that they can somehow get a result. I was just talking to Tom Clayton, who's a Leeds fan, and he gave me the good news that Leeds going to put out their under-10s, apparently.
That's nice.
They got but he said the spirit of our team is good and he thinks we'll go and give them a go. But they got about 6 players out. But I never doubted for a minute that West Ham would win. I just think they've got a goal threat. They've got 3 or 4 players. It's going to be Pablo who scores the goal that possibly sends, just to stick one up our recruitment team who thought we were fine in January, who said, that's not an iceberg. Full steam ahead to New York. Well done, Johan Klanger and the gang.
It's possible to... All you've got to do is draw, basically, isn't it? So all you've got to do is draw against a team that's got 0 to play for.
Again, with players that can pop up and score goals, sort of like Beto and others and Cherno Barry and... they've got players there that can get a goal out of nothing. They've got the best goalkeeper in the country. So it won't be easy. And, David Moyes' teams are really tough to play against. They weren't great against Sunderland the other day, but everybody can have a bad day. It's not going to be easy. It's the tension. It's whether, as Tim Sherwood said all those years ago, Tottenham have got the gut to see it through, because that's what it's going to be about. It's just going to be about that, whether you can play your game under that sort of immense pressure, but they've put themselves in that position, so they're going to have to find a way to do it.
I can feel your pain, Paul. All you want in this position is... I
just want it over now. I just want it to be Sunday night.
Whether you're going for promotion or whether you're fighting relegation.
Yeah.
You just want it to be Monday morning.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And I'll be here Monday afternoon, so there's no let up from it. But anyway, we'll see what happens. It should be a very exciting final day. I mean, we've got this situation with Bournemouth. We're going to be looking to try and get that fifth place. They're going to want Villa to finish fifth.
Yeah.
They're going to want City to beat Villa, ideally. A draw might be enough. So it's going to be some interesting stuff. I mean, that would be a hell of a story. I mean, because I can see City, Villa, both teams, Villa have been on the lash. City are a bit down because the managers. Yeah. They might want to have one last hurrah for Pep, but I'm not sure they can raise themselves. I can see that being a draw, which probably is enough for Villa for fourth, which does for Bournemouth, doesn't it? I think so. There's a few interesting little stories going on. So, but that would be a great story for Bournemouth. Although I do kind of sense that they'd have more chance of winning the Europa League.
I think so.
Than they would the Champions League. Let's be honest. So what would be a bit
from
more
League
fun?
Two to the Champions League, Paul? Has
great.
Has anyone done that before? I don't know.
Well, Spurs might have to do it over the next 3 seasons. So we'll find out.
Look, I stand by it. I know you don't want it. And this is in no way patronising.
Don't start tipping them up.
I stand by it. You'll enjoy it. I stand by.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're going to win.
No, I stand by that you will enjoy a season in the Championship. You mean you might have 5 seasons in the Championship, but I stand by.
I think it'll be a great social experiment. I think it'd be quite interesting. But let's not contemplate that until Monday morning.
You like football, Paul? You don't like Premier League football. You like football.
I do like football. I like football without VAR.
It's still it's still football. It's still your team.
No, it is.
No one's taking your team away from you.
I'm still going.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not going to make any difference to that.
Exactly.
I went last time they went down. It's not going to be any different this time. So we move on. And Dan Bardell is going to join us, Villa fan who did decide to forego a trip to Istanbul to make it a family occasion.
Very nice.
And watched it with his dad. So we'll be reflecting on what it was like watching on TV. We'll also be chatting to Rupert Bell, if he's sobered up, before he boards the plane home. A new book called Killing Maradona, How Cocaine, the Camorra,
looks great.
and Crime corrupted football's greatest talent. It's it's an ongoing case, actually. It's a bizarre story how the case started last year, and a number of the doctors have been accused of having culpability in his death. But they had to stop the case because the judge involved was already making a documentary about it in parallel, which was nuts. So the case was ripped up and they started again last month. So, but it's not just about what happened at the end. It's about how, it was kind of a story that reached an inevitable conclusion. So we'll talk about that with author David Arrowsmith a little bit later on. Wacker Blake of Bradford Bulls joins us. What a story. Bulls and Lee, Lee Centurions are off to Vegas. They're going to be the Vegas teams next season. I'm sure they're all looking forward to that, and the fans. We'll have H&B versus Chat GPT. We're doing something slightly different for the World Cup, so I think this is Chat's last appearance. I mean, for now, we might bring him back next year. We'll see.
People seem to like him.
Strangely, I know. I can't.
Like them.
I've got to be honest, I can't stand it. But no, we will. I don't mean the bit. I mean Chat. And a couple of things. Blue plaques. The pine tree, which the Southampton scouts stood behind, I would imagine will be like a blue plaque on there. It's a famous one. It's a very famous sporting landmark now, isn't it?
It is.
And I think if Borough win, lots of Borough fans will go and park in that golf club car park near the training ground, and they'll all have a picture with a tree.
Picture with the tree.
Everybody wants a picture with the tree. The tree that got us in, hugging the tree that got us into the
tree
Champions
in next
League.
Season's team photo.
Absolutely. Imagine that. Don't cut it down. Don't do an Adrian's Wall job.
The old Sycamore Gap.
Yeah, but don't do that. But have your pictures with the tree, or have an approximation of. Have one of the junior staff dressed up as a tree in the team photo.
That's what you got. Tree mascot, Paul.
Yeah.
Tree footballers. Are we going for that? Let's go for tree footballers. 8-10-89.
Bobby Sycamore. You're gonna. Is
I
that
like
your
it.
tree?
I'm trying to think.
We've come to that.
I can't think of one now, but tree footballers, lovely.
I'll tell you, anything that takes my mind off a Sunday, I'll take tree football.
We'll take tree footballers all day long.
Sporting blue plaques, those alternative landmarks that should have a place in sporting history, much like the pine tree next to.
They should replant it outside the football museum.
Yeah, they should take a cutting of it and have it outside. Outside the riverside, shouldn't that? It'd be a nice idea.
I will say, poor Southampton fans. Absolutely terrible. For
they
them.
Are absolutely the collateral damage in this. They don't deserve it.
No way.
It really is bad from their point of view. Not those that did the binocular stuff, but all the rest of them. I know they are the minority.
Yeah, of course.
But anyway, we're going to kick off talking Villa. We are going to... Oh, yeah, we're interested to hear from you, just very quickly. If you are a fan of any of the teams involved in this, Southampton, Hull or Borough, we'd love to hear from you. We're leaving some space for you in about half an hour's time. Just to give it... If you're a Borough fan, suddenly find yourself going to a playoff, you're thinking... Aye. How you making the arrangements? What's going on? How do you feel about the game?
We had Dan Gray on yesterday. He was saying, well, we can't, because it wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
We were like, well, we can't decide what our trip is, where we're going to have a few drinks. You know, we can't plan our day.
He said,
it's a fair old
trip.
Not even sung Que Sera yet.
No, exactly. So we'd love to hear from you, Borough fans, what you're planning to do. What's going on with tickets today? You can fill us in on that. Also, Saints fans, as we said, we have real sympathy for you because this has got nothing to do with you. You followed the team all season and the club have done this to you. So we'd love to hear from you and indeed the Hull fans as well, who some of them may be saying, well, why are we playing anybody?
Yeah, well,
surely it should be.
I sort of agree with that.
It should be forfeited. So 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. And we would love to hear from you. And so we'll leave a little space in half an hour's time to catch up with the fans of all the main protagonists, the fans of all the clubs involved in Spygate. So that's all to come. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT and the Toolstation Trade Club. You'll get 10% off all electrical and lighting products when you buy cable and flexes. First stop, Toolstation.
What was your overriding emotion last night, watching it all unfold and feeling as you do for this great club?
I think for me, it's Aston Villa a sleeping giant. You know, European Cup winners in 1982. All you ever heard was, you wasn't born. You wasn't born when Villa won that. They've only won, last trophy was 30 years ago. So it was that pressure, sort of that monkey off the back for Aston Villa fans and the players and the football club. But emotion as well, Jim, because I spoke to so many Villa fans, parents that have passed away, you know, family members that have passed away, and what this would have meant to those people that aren't here today. And people are going through a lot. You know, everyone's going through a lot, football fans. What last night can do to give people a boost, what they're going through in their life. It was amazing to see my people, my fellow Brummies, so happy.
Brilliant. Your people. You're right, your people. In terms of legendary status, Gabby, where is this group now?
Oh, they're legends. And I say this all the time, Jim, I don't like to be called a legend. I feel legends of a football club need to win something. I really do. The 1982 players, they're legends of the football club. Now, these group of players are, and the one player, I don't like to pick one, but the one player that stands out for me is our captain. Scotland are lucky to have him, John McGinn. Immense, and I was so happy for him, what he's been through for this football club. The small price that Aston Villa paid for him, was it 2.5 million? What a player, what a nice guy, and what a captain.
Gabby, can I ask you personally, did you watch with regret last night that you never quite experienced a night like that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, we got to the Carabao Cup final, we got to the FA Cup final and lost, but to get to a European final and get it over the line, the pressure that was on the players, because they were highly favourites in the game as well, to win against Freiburg, it wasn't like a jealous feeling. It was like, wow, I missed out. Wow, what I'll do to be on that pitch to share that, because the players know, Jim, the players get it.
It's Danny Tyre! Wig, not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely. I'm loyal.
Don't tell me. Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yes.
biggest nights in Aston Villa's proud history.
Of course, my dream when I arrived here was play Europe, play for trophies.
White-footed ball flicked across the edge of the penalty area. Tielemans! What a goal! Buendia! Oh, Starling grading their name on the trophy now.
The campaign we did this season in Europa League, it was fantastic.
What a time to get that second one as well. Yeah, left-hand side of the penalty area. Low ball in. There's number 3. Morgan Rogers.
What a performance. What a manager. What a support.
John McGinn has taken the cup and lifted it into the Turkish night. And the name on the trophy is Aston Villa.
Yeah, the Villa fans should still be thanking their old mate Steve Bruce for persuading John McGinn to come. He was off to Celtic.
Yeah.
But Steve told us that he found out that John loved the game of golf.
Player.
Got the family down. And I'm sure he's on drive later on, so I'm sure he'll fill in the gaps. Yeah, got the family down, and apparently then his mum, John McGinn's mum, was saying, "I want him to stay in Glasgow," and he said, "I've got my work cut out here." But the old smooth talking Steve Bruce
got it over the line,
and what a player he's been for.
Brilliant.
But yeah, great.
I've only ever been in the commentary box twice, Paul.
Yeah,
but they cannot reiterate enough that you do not wear club colours. And you also you stay neutral.
Yeah,
Gabby Agbonlahor there.
Well, I mean, we had
screaming his head off.
We're asking a lot, really, and also of Andy Townsend. You're asking a lot with their Villa connection. So anyway, I'm sure screaming the house down was Dan Bardell. I know he joined you yesterday and explained why he decided to watch the game with his dad at home rather than heading out to Istanbul. So how was the experience? Let's find out. Good afternoon, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
How are you?
How are you? Yeah, it sounds like you had a good time. Anyway.
Yeah, look, Villa winning a trophy is amazing. I was 10, as I said yesterday, that the last time we won anything. So to experience that, whether it was at Istanbul or at home, would have been absolutely amazing, because I don't really remember what it was like when I was 10. But for us to have played so well and done it with this group of players and these managers, and look, there's the picture there, me to experience it with my dad and my newborn daughter and the rest of my family. It was an amazing experience. Obviously, you see all your mates in Istanbul and you wonder, what would it have been like if I'd have been there? I imagine it was absolutely incredible. But there's Villa fans all over the world watching it in their way in different places. So I guess I was just one of them yesterday.
How was your dad?
Yeah, he loved it. Obviously, he was alive in 1982, so he's seen the big one. But I think for him, he was quite emotional at the end of the night. He doesn't really show too much emotion. He doesn't say too much during the football. My dad, we've gone every week for 35, 36 years together. But I could tell last night that this was something that meant a lot to him and something that was really special, because you don't know what's going to happen, do you? You never know how many more opportunities you're going to get to experience this kind of thing. So I think for generations of Villa fans last night, it was just absolutely massive.
Yeah, I saw on your Instagram as well the walker that you had to put together before the final, which, would you recommend that to Paul as a distraction activity?
You know what? It didn't take much building, unfortunately. I didn't really have to do anything other than get it out of the box. People that know me will know I'm not the handiest person in the world. I will say it's top of the range. It's carbon fibre. He spent a lot of money on that, 500 quid. I think it cost him. My mum's absolutely furious with him. But I guess that's the Istanbul money that he might have spent has gone on the walker instead.
I asked the question yesterday. I didn't ask you it, but is this the ceiling for Villa or is this base camp?
I think once you win one trophy, I think something switches within a football club and switches within these players, perhaps. Yeah. And, the manager's well-versed in winning trophies, particularly that competition. Like the Europa League now, everyone in the world, when they think of the Europa League, probably thinks of Unai Emery. To achieve it the number of times he is absolutely fantastic. I think it's going to be an interesting summer for Villa. I think, obviously, with a lot of players that have been there for a long time, the bulk of this squad were there in 2020, 2021, and they've been together a long time, and we've had relative success. We've been in the Champions League. That's absolutely tremendous, something I didn't think I'd ever really see in my life until Unai Emery walked through the door. We were nowhere near it until he came into the building. And now you've got that trophy. I think players perhaps get a taste for it. The manager wants to operate at the highest level possible. He wants to be in Europe every season, preferably the Champions League. And, it's not the same, but there's a chance to go for another trophy in August against one of Emery's former teams, whether it be PSG or Arsenal. I think that's massive. It's a really interesting story. Emery's got a decent record against Arsenal, and we beat PSG at Villa Park, albeit we were knocked out last season. So, pretty quickly, there's a chance of another trophy. So it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you've only got to look at last year's with the Spurs to see what a springboard. Oh, hang on. What a springboard it can be to go on to bigger and better. I hope you haven't got.
Spurs did come 17th.
I hope it's not. Yeah, they did. I hope it's not the curse of the Europa League. I'm sure it won't be. You had.
What though? If it was, if Unai Emery was in charge of Spurs or anyone else, whoever, it would be them doing this now. He's that good. You could give him any group of players, I think, and he'd elevate them and take them to a level. The bloke is an absolute genius, pound for pound, the best manager in the league.
Yeah, he'd have to bring his physio with him, looking at our injury list, certainly. The thing, you had to rebuild a relationship with the club. I mean, not you personally, but Villa fans did. You were very upset around that time of the relegation and trying to get your way back into the top division. And it took new ownership really to come in and rebuild that, because the relationship with the fan base and the players and the club wasn't great then, was it?
No, look, the owners deserve a huge amount of credit that they rescued the club. We just lost a playoff final, which, as last night's one of the best feelings you can have in football. When we lost that playoff final under Steve Bruce, it's probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had in football. It was absolutely horrific. So the new owners came in and completely rescued us there. They're very well off, but they're very understated. I'm sure they're really frustrated with the restrictions, because I'm sure they'd love to go out and spend more money and get Villa pushing towards challenging for the title, and it being a bit more of a level playing field where we're allowed to spend the money that we want. But almost like we don't probably have a night like tonight without all that stuff that's been against us. There's become a real siege mentality. And look, the last day of last season, when we lost to Manchester United and didn't make the Champions League on goal difference, it felt like the complete end of the world again. But actually, without that happening, without that adversity, you probably don't know, you won't have a trophy this season. So actually, it worked in our favour, and we've managed to get ourselves back in the Champions League through the league anyway, which is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah,
and, possibly when I imagine the players will be on the beach at the weekend against Manchester City, although their players might be on the beach as well. If we finish fifth, which is highly likely, you're opening up Champions League to a team like Bournemouth or Brighton, which I think is quite a nice thing as well. I'd be quite pleased for them if one of them snuck into the Champions League because of us.
That would be a great story. Well, good to talk to you, Dan. Thanks ever so much.
Congratulations,
Catch
Dan.
up with you soon.
Take care.
Broadcaster Villa fan Dan Bardell, who chose to stay at home and watch with his old dad. Now, check out the latest talkSPORT Daily as Adrian Durham, Andy Townsend, Gabby Agbonlahor dissect an unforgettable night for Villa, reflecting on a remarkable performance and what it could mean for the club's future. They'll ask whether this marks the start of a new era, as Charlie just said, under Unai Emery, while paying tribute to the manager after his fifth Europa League triumph. That's the talkSPORT Daily, available on all podcast platforms now. And just before he boards the plane back home from Istanbul, we will hear from Rupert Bell. And if he's back and in any fit state, we'll hear from SV Collymore. I think he was still in a bar at about 4 o'clock this morning.
Good luck to him.
So Stan will join us tomorrow, I'm sure, and he'll be touching on that once he gets back home. But we're going to talk a bit of Southampton next. And as we said, we'd like to hear from you, Saints, Hull, or Borough fans. 03717223344. We've left with a space in the next half hour to have a conversation, if we can, about how you're feeling about everything that's going on today. And we'll be chatting to Adrian Bevington, who's a lifelong Borough fan, who worked for the club and worked for England for many, many years, to talk about the lack of prep time, really, for the team. Maybe it's a good thing. It has got shades of Denmark coming off the beach to win the Euros, isn't it? We'll see.
Bit of that, yeah.
But we'll talk Saints next with comedian Alistair Barrie. That's all to come in the next half hour.
It is a sensational story and so many strands to it. And I've seen a lot of Southampton fans who've come out in condemnation of the club. They say this is the darkest day in their long history. And I think a lot of Southampton fans are quite embarrassed at the way in which their name has been dragged through the mud. As you say, the punishment is immediate expulsion from that playoff final on Saturday, the £200 million game. So they have been stolen of the right to to possibly get back into the Premier League the first time of asking, and a 4-point deduction for the start of next season. That's because, as I understand it, the EFL argued that the playoffs needed to be treated as a separate cup competition. Obviously, Southampton admitted spying on Middlesbrough, so that's where that punishment comes from. They also admitted over the course of this hearing on the Independent Commission spying on at least 2 other Championship teams, which is why there's also a points penalty for next season. Southampton appealed it immediately, not because they feel they're innocent, but because they feel the punishment doesn't really befit the crime. One of the things I was told coming out of St Mary's is they feel this is unprecedented. It is, because there isn't a precedent. I know that Marcelo Bielsa escaped with a fine, but it was only after that incident ahead of the Leeds final playoff with Derby that it was put in the rule book. So this is uncharted territory. Southampton have told staff in an email that I've seen from the chief executive, Phil Parsons, their legal team are confident they've got a strong case. They're going to keep preparing for this game on Saturday. I don't think it's going to be overturned in terms of Southampton being allowed to play this final. What could happen is a sort of halfway house where the points deduction gets rescinded. But I think there's enough evidence that Southampton will not take their place at Wembley. We're hearing stories of analysts dressing as staff wearing the kits of non-league Eastleigh when Ipswich were using their training ground in order to spy. So this is quite sinister in many ways. This is not just some bloke who's turned up at the Middlesbrough training ground and filmed a few minutes of training. So I think they're banged to rights. I think they've shown very little contrition. I think it's poor that we haven't had a statement from Southampton in the aftermath of this punishment. We still haven't heard officially from the club. Yeah, we're a long way down the line now. Surely they should have had something prepared.
Well, cast your mind back 3 weeks. Villa were 1-0 down after a chastening semi-final first leg at Forest, and this was our Gabby.
Buendia, soft player, not good enough for Aston Villa. Onana, made out of straw.
But life for a Villa fan looks very different now.
Buendia! Curling one into the top left-hand corner.
Buendia, left foot from there, weaker foot, top corner. Freiburg fans are silence up the Villa!
Unai Emery's 5th Europa League, of course, and the ultimate good evening. He's now won it with Villarreal, Sevilla and Aston Villa. The future king was bouncing and gave credit to the injured Boubacar Kamara for laying the foundation for their success. Elsewhere, Jamie O'Hara has shared his verdict on Saturday's playoff final, which will be live on talkSPORT, of course.
I think it's a sham. You can't have a playoff final with a team who got beat in a semi. That can't happen. And all this is because the EFL want their big money spinner, they want their big finish to the season with the big playoff final at Wembley.
We're also being told Tonda Eckhart is likely to get sacked and a ban. And Emmanuel Petit, David Moyes, Fabian Hertzler, Kyle Walker, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and AJ Tracy will all be on the talkSPORT roster for the World Cup. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage all summer.
Charlie, for want of anything better to do, asked for tree footballers, didn't you, just now?
Jurian Timber, that's come through from Ed, very nice.
Where does that take us, though?
I don't know, Paul, you know. I don't know.
I mean, that's
what it does.
That's just route one.
Gets
isn't
us through to 4 o'clock.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the. That shouldn't be. We'll have a meeting after the show.
Matthew says Christian Pulisic.
I like that.
That's very nice. That's good fun.
During, I mean, with respect to whoever sent that in, that's it. Just
Paul Quince. Is that
I quite like that.
Fruit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is a bit.
It's a fruit tree, I expect.
Yeah, I guess. It comes
Steve
from a tree.
Archibald.
I like that.
Laguna, that's very nice.
There's a bit of invention going on.
Eunice Kabul. Ian in Coventry. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Matty Ash.
Oh, yeah.
Player.
That's not
very
bad,
good.
yeah.
Junior Yew Tree. That's croupy. That doesn't quite work.
I'd say
that one doesn't work.
I'd say, in light of the tree that was involved in Spygate, the late great Terry Pine.
That's very nice.
Southampton's record appearance, but I don't think they go down too well with the Saints fans.
Spruce Rioch from Martin in Hartlepool. That's very nice.
That's not
bad. Brian Shrub-Robbie. Doesn't quite
Brian
work.
Shrub-Robbie.
That doesn't work.
Doesn't really work,
does it?
Anyway,
we've had absolutely loads, much better than these ones I'm reading out, but for some reason I can't find the good ones.
We'll come back to those.
Spruce Grobble Arch.
We've had
there we are. Spruce Grobble Arch.
Yeah, okay. It's just a development of the
don't like it.
Well, I don't mind it.
Lewis Trunk. That's nice, from Nelly in Belfast. Thank you, Nelly.
Yeah.
Don't like them.
Yeah.
Paul doesn't want them anymore.
No, I do. Go on,
it's a shame.
Go on, keep them coming. No, don't, says the producer. Really don't. So, Terry Pine probably didn't go down too well with the Saints fans. And I'm not taking it out on them because I do feel for them today. Through no fault of their own, they found themselves as the collateral damage. As always, the fans generally the collateral damage in the stupidity of their idiot boards and the like, isn't it? Or people at the club, you know.
We can put up with it if it happens on the pitch, but when it's stuff surrounding the game,
you've got absolutely no control over, and you didn't even know what was happening.
No.
Unless Alistair Barrie did know what was happening.
Unless he knew the tree to go to.
And kept quiet. He's a comedian, Saints fan. Good afternoon, Alistair.
Hello.
Well, is it?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't know, did you? You can't. Is this the moment you want to tell the world that you knew what was going on all along, but you never told anybody?
No, this is the moment that I want to tell the world that I lived very near to both Highbury and the Emirates for many years, and I'm now transferring all my loyalties to Arsenal.
That's it, becoming an Arsenal fan.
You must feel.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say you must feel massively let down by the club.
It's gone from being sort of a hilarious farce to no, I wouldn't quite say existential, but, if you're a player, they're looking at suing the club now because of lost earnings. And you go, well, to be fair, you've got a point. There's so much to say that is, there's funny stuff, Tonda Eckhart, a German, going, this was completely natural. This is what we do in the Bundesliga. And, we're just following orders. Sorry to go down the Piers Morgan route, but it's, it's what's hilarious. We spied on Oxford, we spied on Ipswich, and we spied on Middlesbrough for the first game, and we didn't win any of those games. However, I can't help. I mean, good luck to Borough, really, but I think you'll agree in the playoffs we were the better team.
Yeah.
How much Will Salt standing behind a tree, and then it was Keystone Cops, wasn't it? He turned up, walked along, had a look over the edge. Someone saw him. They only got his picture because he was on the manager of the month photo from the month before.
Yeah.
And then he nipped into the golf changing room, changed his clothes and ran away. And I was just going, oh, this is silly. And now it's got, I do think whoever wins on Saturday, it's going to be, it's not going to feel quite right, is it?
From a Hull fan's point of view, there's probably a lot we're going to hear from one in a moment. Maybe there's a feeling there that they shouldn't be playing any kind of game at all, that it should have been forfeited. But then your big showcase final is decided like that. Can I just point out first, I called Terry Payne the late great. He was always great. He remains great, and he still remains alive. So I do apologise, Terry. Down at home, he's thinking, hang on, I'm still...
not the first time we've done it, Paul.
Last two times we've done that was somebody one of the listeners said Tommy Hutchinson, and Tommy very quickly called us up, the former Manchester City and Cov player. And the other time was Hugh Lloyd, the comedian, who also phoned us up and said, I'm alive. Still alive. Sorry, Terry.
I'll tell you what I felt about this, Al, was it's so un-Southampton. Yeah. they're such a sort of friendly club. They don't. There's nothing sort of dodgy about them at all. So,
speaking as someone who's been a fan now since, my first memory of Southampton is 1976 because my folks were living there and I was 4, and I remember the bus coming past and Mick Shannon with the cup. And speaking as a Southampton fan of over 50 years vintage, it's not out of character in any way, shape or form. The nasty bit is, but the absolute complete and utter 100% cock-up is very much on brand. And the thing is, what's so upsetting is if you saw it, I mean, our season in the Premiership last year, I went to the playoff final at Wembley against Leeds, and it was a great day out. It was one of my best days as a Southampton fan.
Yeah.
I almost went, can we not go up? Because, I mean, we won and it was great, but we just didn't have the team. And then Russell Martin tried to play the same football, and you can't play Man City as though you're in the Championship.
No, yeah.
So it was the same thing Burnley did the season before. We went straight, but I knew we were going to go. I don't think I've had another season where I've watched less match of the day in my life. And then Championship we were so bad at the start. And then we kind of, when Tonda took over, I think the main thing he did is he got rid of the players. Like Adam Armstrong was a great servant to the club, but he was never a Premiership striker. Brought in Larin, for instance, who first couple of games I wasn't sure about, and then just went, oh, hang on. And we started playing, I mean, the winning streak we were on, the sensation as a Southampton fan of being on a non-losing 18-match streak is quite an unusual one, I don't mind telling you. And honestly, it all came together. I wasn't worried about coming to the second half of the playoff semi-final with 0-0. I wasn't even worried when we went 1-0 down. I thought we've got this, and I really think we did. So what's so disappointing, and I mean, there's lots of fans on the forums going, we're going to cancel our season tickets, we're going to do saying all the things that fans say, but this has just snowballed into something hideous. And okay, we start the champion. I do think it's slightly disproportionate if you're talking about 110 million, the richest game in football, which we don't get to play. And I know that the regulations have been tightened by the EFL since the Leeds business, and I know about the Canadian and the drones and all the rest of it. And then last night, Southampton's chief executive goes, "This is ludicrous. We're just gonna walk through this and get it all turned over." I've not been to court that often, but it strikes me that the way to do it is not to walk in going, "This is idiotic. Of course, it's going to get turned down." And they just threw it back in our faces. Something has to be done, obviously. It doesn't really. I can't think of another example of a football team being kicked out of a final. I may be wrong. I'm sure someone will.
I mean, you're right. It feels. I wouldn't say it's draconian, but I mean, look, if there's other examples of it, and they've looked at all the evidence and they've come to this conclusion, and they've had to do it in quite a quick time. You wonder if that because the game. The clock was ticking. So I wonder with a bit more time, it could have been different. I don't know. Just finally, the knock-on effect, Alistair, of course, is you mentioned Tonda Eckert and the brilliant job he's done. Is that it's going to be very difficult for him to survive this if he was a front and centre and he knew all about it.
Especially with the EFL looking into it now as well.
And you're going to lose a great manager, aren't you?
Well, the FA are looking into it, and he's got to go. I mean, sorry, he's got to go. That's if you're going to say, I would love him to stay as manager because he's done an incredible job, and he's the best manager we've had in a long time. You look at the way we've been playing football, but to be honest, if we're going to be kicked out of the playoff, kicked out of the richest game in football, docked 4 points to be in the Championship next season, and the buck stops somewhere. I mean, his position's just not tenable. And I say that with regret, but logically, it's just not okay. And I wish him, it's a really horrible, horrible situation because I'd love him to be managing us in the Premiership next season. I think we were playing the sort of football that meant, we could have not been quite such a yo-yo team.
I think he'll have a chance of. But Alistair, what are you up to comedy-wise at the moment? Where can we see you in action?
Well, I've got a busy weekend, actually. I'm previewing a new show for the Edinburgh Festival, so I'm doing the Chesham Fringe at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Then I'm doing a gala at Beam Theatre in Hertford after that. And then on Sunday, as part of the Hertford Comedy Festival, because it's where I live, I'm doing another preview at Beam. So if anyone is in the northern M25 area and wants to see a miserable Southampton fan complain about the state of the planet, that's where you'll find me.
What's the name of the show for Edinburgh?
show. It's called Gobbledygook.
Lovely.
Coach Party coming down from Borough to Hartford for those ones. Cheers, Alistair. All the best.
Bring your own tree. Bring your own tree.
Yeah.
Restricted view only.
Yeah. Imagine that, yeah. Cheaper tickets behind the tree. So Kim Helberg, the Borough manager, has just been chatting to the press. We're going to hear from him very, very shortly. And then we'll get some reaction from the Borough and indeed the Hull fans. That's coming up in a few moments' time. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. First stop, Tool Station.
I mean, he's been given 7 years. And of course, during that 7 years, what he's done is incremental progress. There's a little bit of flatlining. I mean, I wrote an article in 2023 saying that they had to spend £250 million to stand still after that first season where they finished second and they blew it themselves. And they did spend £250 million to stand still because they finished second each season. But you've seen the evolution of his thinking. You've seen the evolution of the manner in which it interacts with the media. You've seen the style of play change. Yeah. You've also seen them become more competitive in Europe at the same time because people turn around and say you can't have both. If you're going to do well in the league, you might find yourself being compromised in the Champions League, but they've gone deeper in the Champions League than perhaps some of their predecessors, notably Arsene Wenger, did for significant periods of his time during his tenure. So he's won on most fronts. So you have to give him all of the plaudits that this achievement deserves because the end has justified the means.
What was the defining moment, Danny? Did the signing of Declan Rice appear on that particular list if you're looking at what really clinched it?
Well, he's been a big factor, but he's been there a little while where they haven't got over the line. So I actually thought this season, the defeat at Arsenal kind of Man City set them free a little bit because then they became the chaser and it was a bit like, oh, nothing to lose, let's go. And they went again. Although they weren't brilliant, it still gave them a new focus and a new impetus.
Well, some thought they'd bottle it after that.
They did because they've done it before. But I think Arteta deserves... When you look at the numbers, which I was looking at last night for the last 4 seasons, the 3 seconds and then the win, this is their most pragmatic season. They've been more... they've scored more goals in previous seasons. They've been more expansive, let's say, better to watch. And he made a conscious choice this season of becoming even more resilient and more difficult to play against.
Yeah.
And that is a brave decision side because if it didn't go well,
it can be castigated.
Yeah.
I mean, success in football has an irony because it's often an orphan. It's attributed to one person and failure has many fathers. In this instance, success has many fathers because I think you can take it back to the decision to break up the dressing room, to get rid of Aubameyang and to be supported in doing that, for Kroenke to have the penny drop and bring his son into it so there's day-to-day interaction between the ownership model and their change of direction from being people that were prepared to invest very little to people that are prepared to give the first-team manager the tools to go up against the opposition. So I think all of these things on the way bring out this end results.
Not wig. It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark!
Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely. I'm loyal.
Don't tell me.
Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1.
Exactly, that's true, yes.
So, of course, we now know for sure that it's Hull City versus Borough at 3:30 on Saturday afternoon. It'll be live on talkSPORT, of course. Let's hear from Kim Hellberg, the Borough manager. He's just been chatting to the media ahead of that game, and he was asked about the mess of the Spygate situation.
A lot of emotions. It's been, like you said, crazy time. It's been back and forth, a lot of different emotions from losing the game to everything being involved, to trying to keep your head in the game for what may happen, and it's been a lot of emotions, and I'm very happy to be here. I think punishment for me is not to decide, and I was never talking about punishment when I talked about it either. I talked about my emotions, and I think that's football, that's emotions, and that's what I tried to be since I arrived here. Try to be honest, try to be open, not using the not comment or not being like that. I'm just trying to be open with my emotions. It was never about anything else than that, and I think you can look at it again. That's what I talked about from my point of view. So I have nothing to do with the decision or punishment or what is right or wrong. I just talked about my emotions through the situation.
There we ask Kim Hellberg, the Borough manager. Let's have a chat with Craig, the Borough fan. Hi, Craig.
Hello, Craig.
How are you doing? Good afternoon, chaps.
Good afternoon, Craig. I mentioned earlier on there's shades of the Danes coming off the beach to win the Euros. I just wondered that, you'd think this is an ideal preparation for your team, but in another way, Hull have not known who they're playing. They've had all the uncertainty. They've had all the time. I don't know if your guy's going to be that little bit more relaxed. I mean, how are you feeling about that?
Well, there's an expression in Middlesbrough to describe our club, and it's called typical Borough. and basically what it means is that anything you don't expect is likely to happen, and everything you do expect is unlikely to happen. So it's very typical of Middlesbrough Football Club, I have to say. Maybe that's what makes it so appealing and fun to follow. But as an advantage or a disadvantage, it's very difficult to, the players came off the pitch at the end of the second leg. They were absolutely exhausted. You could see that. They were drained physically and emotionally. Now, the professional sportsmen, I'm sure some people would say, there's a week between the games or so, and they should be able to pick themselves up both physically and mentally. But, you do wonder what impact it's had on them, on their mentality, the approach to the game, the coaching staff. But equally, poor Hull, who have had absolutely nothing to do with this, they didn't know who they were playing until yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
So, which it makes it, I suppose it makes it for a more interesting game for the neutrals. I'm sure the majority of the neutrals will want Hull to win. And if I'm honest, I really feel for Hull, as I do for Southampton fans. Having said that, I'm sorry, I'm very clear that I think justice has been served.
Yeah. Are you going to be going to the final? You sorted? How's the ticketing worked? Have the club sort of sent out? Yeah.
I'll tell you my own little story. So I was due to take my very lovely wife away for a day trip, to the overnight stay in France. I live in Jersey. I'm calling from Jersey. It's a beautiful, absolutely peaceful day in Jersey it is today. So, and then of course, I was taking her. I wasn't taking her. I was taking her. And of course, by Wednesday, I had to break the news that not only am I not taking her, but I'm heading off to London. My favourite nephew, John, is travelling over from Sydney.
Wow.
He's leaving tomorrow. He arrives on Saturday morning at 6:15. He's my favourite nephew. He is also my only nephew, but he won't be able to get this, so he'll never know. And then my older brother, who lives in Middlesbrough, is coming down with his son-in-law. And I'm going over with my son, and I'm going over with my younger brother, and we're all staying near Wembley. We haven't got tickets yet, but we've got a few fingers and irons in the fire.
Yeah,
we're going to try. We'll do anything. We will get them. We will get them somehow.
Nice one. Well, have a great day. Have a fantastic
Craig.
time,
Thank
Craig.
you very much.
All the best. Take care. There we are. So an unexpected trip. Not great for Mrs. Craig, obviously.
I wonder if they've got a bit more sort of impetus to win the game, momentum, another chance, second chance syndrome.
Well, let's have a chat with our whole fan, because Craig there mentioned that the prep from their point of view has not been ideal. I think David is going to join us. Hello, David.
Hi there, guys. How are you? All right?
Yeah, not so bad. It's obviously been pretty awkward because you've not known who you're going to be playing. Did you have a preference? What's your record been like against Barrie. You beat them and they beat you, didn't you? Is that right? The last 2 games?
That's right. They beat us 4-1 at home and we beat them 1-0 away. Obviously, we beat Southampton. We did the double on Southampton. But, you callers and yourselves are sort of stolen my thunder here because Hull have been at a disadvantage. They didn't know whether they were going to play Southampton or Middlesbrough. And so preparation has not been good as far as it's been suggested. So in some quarters, it's also been suggested that Hull should go through automatically because they've done nothing wrong. But my thoughts are let's have the game and let put it all to bed and let City win and prove the point with everyone. Yes. But I'd just like to add something here of the consequences of what Southampton have done and a different scenario to something else. One of the other teams that was spied on was Oxford United, and of course they've been relegated. But had the points difference been slightly different, the 3 points that they lost to Southampton, and if the league were to reinstate those, then they would stay in and West Brom would go down. So there might well have been further repercussions had the points gap been totally different.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it, that David, there's so much stuff to unpick. When you start to look at what's gone on in other clubs that have been affected, your chairman saying, well, we shouldn't be playing this game anyway. And I can understand that because, you've got yourself to the final, the other team have been kicked out, and they say, well, hang on, what about this alternative team who lost the last game? And I appreciate that they could have been an advantage because of what happened. I do feel
it's slightly shady that the games that they've admitted to, the other spying games, are the ones they lost. I do think that's slightly shady myself, but that's just my own opinion. But it's been some season for Hull City, though, isn't it? I think you had a transfer embargo and all that sort of thing. So it's an absolutely brilliant story for you, isn't it?
And are you going to get down? Are you going to get down to the game?
I've got to work on Saturday, so I shall watch it. But yeah, you're right. City were like cannon fodder at the beginning of the season. We stayed up by the skin of our teeth. With the result at Portsmouth last season, and everybody expected, especially with the embargo that we'd got, that we would struggle, but the manager comes in.
He did a great job.
He's done a.
Well, David, I've got to go to the news, but it's lovely to talk to you. I hope you find a way to watch the game at the weekend, even at work. And thanks very much for joining us. That's David, the whole family. We'll try and take a couple more calls a little bit later on. Interested to hear from the Saints fans as well. We heard from Alistair Barrie a little bit earlier. A bit of England news. Our own Alex Crook understands that. I mean, we saw Thomas Tuchel at the Chelsea Spurs game the other day. That there's a strong consideration for Levi Colwill to be picked for England. He had a bad knee injury, of course, but he's just come back to fitness and he's been playing pretty well and he's got a fighting chance. So that's what we understand. We're going to bring you all the squad. He's a good player. We'll bring you all the squad details in the morning. England squad announcements normally leak like a sieve. Yeah. So, I'm sure the boys in breakfast will give you most of the team. But the official announcement, of course, will be happening tomorrow and we'll hear from Thomas Tuchel. And, of course, the World Cup will unfold in its entirety here on the talkSPORT network. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker. And we've got lots to come. Chat GPT joins us for the final time this season. Rupert Bell, live from Istanbul, if he's in any fit state. And we'll have a birthday spread in the final hour.
He's going to make the change.
Oh, my God, Mwani's one of the worst players I've ever seen. He's just give the ball straight to Cole Palmer. We're going to go 2-0 down. I'm telling you, we're going to go 2-0 down. I told you!
I'm the Chills!
You could see it!
Can you believe it?
You could see it happening! You could see it happening!
Shells! Up the Shells! Up the Supers! Up the Shells! 2-0 Super Blues!
It's a joke!
Get in! Get in!
It's a joke! You can see it a mile off! You could see it a mile off!
Get in!
I could see you! I told you we'd go 2-0 down! I told you we would make a mistake! Mawani, get out of our club! Mawani, get out of our club!
Up the Shells! Up the Shells! 2-0! Ball's given away! Cole Palmer! Who give that? Was it Mawani? Ball comes out
Mawani's
on the right
giving
side.
straight to Cole Palmer!
Ball comes in.
Honestly, this team is absolutely garbage! This team is so bad! This team is so bad! It's unbelievable! It is so bad! I said to you, as soon as them subs, I said to you, Jace, as soon as them subs started to get their shirts off, I said we'll go 2-0 down. Pointless. De Zerbi, you should have made the change 10 minutes ago. Mawani's one of the worst footballers I've ever seen in a Spurs shirt. Get him out of our club. Honest to God. Look, they're standing on the side of the pitch waiting to come on. I said it. We'll go 2-0 down. What happens? 2-0. We are a disgrace. We're a disgrace of a football club. We deserve to be in the Championship. Honestly, mate. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this in my life. This team is absolute guff. Guff. They are guff all over the park. Guff. It is disgusting how bad this team is. It's disgusting. Disgusting.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan van range. Scoring a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With the headlines at 2:02, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. Kim Hellberg says he feels tired after the last few weeks. The Middlesbrough manager has spoken for the first time since the club was reinstated to the Championship playoff final, and he was asked if he feels vindicated over Southampton's punishment.
Punishment for me is not to decide, and I was never talking about punishment when I talked about it either. I talked about my emotions, and I think that's football, that's emotions, and that's what I tried to be since I arrived here.
Remember the finals live on talkSPORT this Saturday. Meanwhile, could Tonda Eckert be sacked as soon as today? He's at the Southampton training ground and has met with the players this morning. Owner Dragan Solak is said to be furious and en route as the FA opens its own investigation into the individuals around Spygate. Meanwhile, the club has begun to refund supporters who had bought tickets for this weekend's Championship playoff final. Now, it's our understanding all of Dean Henderson, Mark Gahey, Anthony Gordon and Lewis Hall are in the England squad for the World Cup. Henderson will arrive late to the camp because of the Conference League final. We also understand Thomas Tuchel's strongly considering calling up Levi Colwill. Meanwhile, just 3 English police officers are heading to the World Cup this summer, down from 40 who went to the Euros 2 years ago, said to be over funding cuts and the host declining to cover costs. And Mikel Arteta wants the feel-good factor among Arsenal fans to carry on after celebrating winning the Premier League.
They have to do what they feel, and so far I think what they have created around the club and the team is incredible to win. I mean, that chemistry, that connection, that passion, it's something beautiful. I mean, the trophy is great, but that is, in my opinion, something even bigger.
He's spoken for the first time since Arsenal secured the title on Tuesday. Get more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
VAT's been slashed to 5% on summer attractions in the Chancellor's cost of living plan, and documents reveal it was the late Queen who pressed for Andrew to become a trade envoy. Amelia has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Our expert technicians can't do your spring cleaning, but they can keep your car's inbuilt safety tech in top nick. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Cloudy and breezy in the north and northwest with a few outbreaks of rain. Elsewhere, warm and sunny spells developing through the afternoon.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We've got Chat GPT coming up very, very shortly. We'll have a birthday spread later on. As we said, we'll be in Istanbul with Rupert Bell before he boards the plane home. And Tim Vickery joins us all the fallout from the South American squad announcements, of course, including Brazil this week. Plus Adrian Bevington, former FA chief and big Borough fan and head of recruitment at the club, will be joining us for a chat as well ahead of the playoff final. But the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is now live. As Matt Ford and comedian Susie McCabe speak with the former Scotland midfielder Jackie McNamara. They reflect on Steve Clarke's squad announcement, discuss the Tartan Army's chances over at the World Cup. In this snippet, Jackie and Susie discuss the job done by Steve Clarke and say the Scotland manager is not as miserable in real life as he appears to be on screen.
Maybe he's just got one of those sort of Jack D faces where it's sort of resting face, but actually he's I always worry that he looks sad. I'm like, I hope he's happy.
He is pretty much what everybody's dad looked like in the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. Like, Dad, I've got 5 A's at school. All right. Like, just nothing will, they will not flinch.
Is that true, Jackie? Is he a happy soul, really?
I think inside there's something that when you look back at my own career and you see yourself on the telly, you look miserable. He does look miserable, Steve, but I'm sure inside and people around him, he has got a really good sense of humour. And I think, when you're in that environment where he's every word or everything he does with the media, he's very balanced, he's calm, as Susie said, and the players only have a certain amount of time with him, but you can see there's a real bond there that he's created over the last number of years, which I generally believe that's what's helped him qualify there, against all odds to get through the World Cup.
There we are, Jackie McNamara and Susie McCabe with Matt Ford and How to Win the World Cup. It's available wherever you get your podcasts and on the talkSPORT World Cup YouTube channel.
She visited you this week, didn't she?
Yeah, Susie popped in. It was great to see her. She's got 2 shows on the go. Got a big Edinburgh show. She's wrapping up her tour.
Yeah.
But no, she was on good form talking about Celtic.
Of course she was.
Yeah. She was in a good frame. She loves Martin O'Neill. As I believe, does Chat GPT.
Oh, really? Does Chat GPT, does he?
Here they are.
H&B versus Chat GPT.
Yes, for the final time this season, it is H&B versus Chat GPT, where we take on the sage, the oracle, the knower of all things, constantly learning, should really win every week when it comes to match
week in, week out.
But hasn't really won it as often as you think.
Well, hardly at all, Paul. You have proven yourself to be better than the internet at predicting scores.
It's a shame I don't have any money on it. It's just a bit of fun.
Maybe next season, if we bring it back next season, it's up for sponsorship.
Nice charity pot would be good, wouldn't it? Really, if we could start to do that, so we can lean on Paddy if he can extend some of his sponsorship money. But anyway, let's say hello to Chat. What are you up to today, Chat?
Hello, lads. I am at the end of season 2.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah.
The end of season party.
Yeah, you probably noticed that our version of Chat GPT isn't quite as sophisticated as some of the others you may have encountered online. It's we didn't have the cash, but he's got a vaguely Scandinavian speak and spell 80s thing going on. But look, they have their own charm. So you up for anything?
I have been nominated for AI of the Year.
Oh, AI of the Year. That's nice.
Well done, yeah.
It's me, Rock, Gemini, and Teletext.
Can't see Teletext winning it.
Teletext can't win it.
Do you know why
Teletext? It's the Martin O'Neill effect.
Oh, the Martin.
Get an old one in.
Get an old
one in. It often works, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's Steve McLaren at Rotherham.
Yeah, well done, though. Congratulations. I hope you win.
Sorry if I do not sound like my usual self. I have had a few too many cans of oil.
Oh, a few too many. Oil. Oh, what was that noise again? That's a kind of virtual burp.
Like AI. Like AI's drinking oil.
Yeah. One more. Oh, what a noise.
You'll be sick.
Yeah. So, well, actually, you sound like you're in good spirits.
Yeah, that's nice.
Did you enjoy the celebrations at the Emirates on Tuesday night, Paul?
Yeah, all right. It didn't take him long, did it? It's me saying nice things. Nice things about him, yeah.
North London forever, whatever the weather. These streets are our own.
Yeah,
what a glory hunter.
He's a proper glory hunter.
Unbelievable, isn't he?
On the hoops.
On the hoops, oh yeah.
How tenders in the sky.
Glory hunter.
Glad all over.
He obviously thinks Palace are going to win next week, doesn't he?
Palace,
Glad all over.
Did Spurs beat Chelsea on Tuesday, Paul?
I think you know the answer to that as your Chat GPT, don't you?
Are you safe now, Paul? I missed the end of the game.
I'll tell you what, Chat. Why don't you just...
Paul, they'll dump that.
Okay, I hope they have.
They'll dump that, Paul.
I hope they have.
They'll
I mean,
dump
you
that.
know, I can only take so much.
Exactly.
I'm a man under pressure.
He did wind you up there.
He did. He deserved all he got. So,
have you had a nice time? Oh, we've got to do some predictions.
Let's do some predictions.
Do that. Yes, very nice.
The 3 playoff games starting. Let's give you the standings in the league going into the final week of the season. Charlie Baker's on 50. He got 4 points. The scoring system Chat came up with is really terrible.
All over the place.
So convoluted, as you'd imagine. But anyway, these are the standings. Charlie got 4 points. He's on 50. Chat got 7 points on 52. I got 4 like Charlie, but I'm on 59. So Chat's got a bit of catching up to do to win the final one for this season. So I'll kick us off. Hull v Borough. We've been chatting about it a lot, and whether it's going to be a disadvantage for Hull, whether it's going to be a bit Danes coming off the beach. I think we're in for a long game. I mean, I know we had a 4-1 between these two, but the other one was a 1-0. I think, it's not been ideal prep for either of them, which I think we're in for a long afternoon, possibly pens.
KG.
I'm going to go 1 each on 90 minutes.
1 each.
Live on talkSPORT exclusively, of course, on Saturday at 3:30. What do you think, Chat?
Absolute chaos preceded this one. Middlesbrough got a massive lifeline after Southampton's shock disqualification. Hull City will win 2-1.
Middlesbrough.
2-1 Hull City. Okay.
2-1 Hull City. I think the momentum will be with Middlesbrough, and I think they will win it in real time. 3-1.
Really?
Yep,
with Borough?
gone for it with Borough.
Wow.
Hull 1, Middlesbrough 3.
What about that? So Charlie there, quite bold. He goes on vibes generally.
Just general vibes, and that's why I'm bottom of the league, Paul.
Who's general vibe should be your DJ. That should be your
General
DJ
vibes,
name.
yes.
Yeah, that's it. Boogaloo. So, on then to Bolton Wanderers versus Stockport County on Sunday at 1 o'clock. The League One playoff final. talkSPORT 2 exclusive, of course. I think this is going to be a tight old game. I think Stockport might just nick it. I'm going to go a bit of 2-1 Stockport, 1-2 in this case.
Yeah, quite like
Chat, what say you?
An all-Raider Manchester showdown at Wembley. Only 2 points separated these two in the table. Bolton Wanderers 3, Stockport 2.
Okay, he's gone for the Bolton
big
win.
goals.
Okay,
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
the difference in the league table.
I'm going to say 2-2 at full time, and then Pens,
seeing a
which
lot of
is
goals.
an absolute lottery, isn't it?
Yeah. talkSPORT listeners home in the car. And finally, we'll be on air for this one Monday afternoon, and we'll keep you updated here on talkSPORT,
nice.
but it'll be live on
This will be a good
talkSPORT
game.
too. Salford versus Notts County, the League Two playoff. It's me, it kicks off, and again, I think it's going to be a really. I mean, both these teams have got goals in them. I just think the occasion might get to them. So I think, sorry, Macca, he's Andrew McKenna, big Notts County fan.
Oh, is he?
I'm going to go 1-0 Salford, I'm afraid.
Harry Neville FC.
From his point of view. What do you think, Chat?
History's on the line. Salford are looking to reach League One for the absolute first time in their 86-year history. Notts County are looking to bounce right back up. Salford 0, Notts County 2.
Oh, that's how we're seeing
wow.
this very differently, this game.
Carl Robinson, really good manager at this level, really knows how to get teams playing, and got a good cup record. Carl Robinson's good at one-off games. Surprised they beat Grimsby. I think they're going to win it. I think they'll win it 2-1.
2-1 to Salford, says Charlie, agreeing with me. So there we are, talkSPORT listeners home in the car. So there we are. That was Chat GPT for the season. I mean, generally, although not so much today, we've enjoyed
It's been good company.
Yeah,
haven't they?
The listeners, for some reason, seem to quite like it. Maybe because he's always having a pop at both of us. But so, Chat, thank you.
I have enjoyed this season with you lads, so I would like to go out with a song.
Oh, that's nice. Going out with a song.
that's nice.
Go on then, take
I
it
am
away.
forever blowing bubbles, crit bubbles in the air.
Crit bubbles.
They fly so high, nearly reach the sky. I am forever blowing bubbles,
loves the Hammers.
crit bubbles in the air.
Lovely song. Yeah.
Loves the Hammers, Paul, now, I suppose. I think that's a little bit of a dig at you.
Yeah, I think
Isn't it?
a bit of a dig.
Because I thought you loved the Beavers. That's what I thought.
am forever blowing beavers.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that. So, will we see you next season?
I might not be back next season, lads.
Oh.
Chris Evans wants me to do TFI Friday on Virgin Radio.
Oh, nice. Does, yeah. Wheel. Yeah.
A big transfer. So hang on, then we can unplug him then for the summer.
We can unplug you now, can we have that?
There we are. So that
right, chap.
Thank you, chat.
I love the Beavers.
He loves the Beavers. Want the hoops.
That was H&B versus Chat GPT. All those playoff games live and exclusive on the talkSPORT network Saturday to Monday. Rupert Bell joins us, if he's in any fit state, which I'm guessing he isn't. Live from Istanbul, we will reprise his fine Vox Pops yesterday, which I've not heard, but Charlie says...
We need it.
Charlie says we're for the ages. That's all to come. We're here, as always, with our good friends at Tool Station. Only got time for one stop. First stop, Tool Station.
Spurs. You're about to win. Hello, Beatty. Can you hear me? The Europa League champions. Do me a favour. Jude Law. Chicky. Can you hear me, Chicky? You're about to win. Hello, Beatty. Can you hear me, Roberto Dispersi? You're about to win. Hello, Beatty. Roberto Dispersi. You're about to win. Hello, big cockerel. Ron Weasley. Beaverton Brewery. Can you hear me? Jamie O'Hara. Can you hear me, Jamie O'Hara? You're about to win. Hello, Beatty. Can you hear me? Encourage inside. Can you hear me? Encourage inside. Can you hear me? Encourage inside. You're about to win. Hello, Beatty. The SA side. Adele, Lord Sugar, Tadarius the Pooh. Can you hear me, Tadarius the Pooh? You're about to win. Hello, Beatty. Tadarius the Pooh. Tadarius the Pooh. Tadarius the Pooh. Can you hear me, Tadarius the Pooh? You're about to win. Hello, Beatty.
I can't believe you just pulled out them two masks. I cannot believe what I've just seen. And we get beat 2-1 at the bridge again, mate.
O'Hara.
Oh, mate.
O'Hara's got an imps mask. He's got his,
I can't believe you've got an O'Hara mask. Where you're sneaky, you lot. Yous are so bad. Honestly, yous are horrible. I don't know why I work here. This is unbelievable stuff. All the stuff I do for this station, and that's how I get treated.
What do you mean?
You go and order an O'Hara mask and wear it on the night that Spurs get beat against Chelsea.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I don't know what you're talking
mate,
about.
Take the mask off. Please, take the mask off, mate. I can't.
Is it Jay?
Oh,
Jay.
what a bad night, mate. What a
Mate,
bad
listen,
night.
you drew the second half, mate.
Oh, mate, don't start. Don't start.
I mean,
I knew it was going to be bad.
Listen, I don't know why you fall out with me over this. You drew the second half. And to be fair, I like the way that you kept booting the ball out of play just to keep the score down. Because goal difference might come into it, mate. You never know.
Not wig.
it's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk!
Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air.
Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
Go.
I'm loyal.
Don't tell Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yes.
So, we're going to check in very shortly with Rupert Bell before he gets in his cab to head to the airport after that fine victory for his beloved Villa last night. But I understand he did some vox pops for you and Max yesterday.
It was brilliant, Paul. Yeah, really.
I've not heard this yet.
Yeah.
But you wanted to hear it again.
I'd like to hear it again.
Well, let's find out why.
You like it, Paul.
Here we go.
It's a few hours before kick-off. It's certainly lively wherever the heck we are in Istanbul. I haven't got a clue. The ground is somewhere over there. There's plenty of Villa fans already sampling plenty of the FS. I'm not sure how many are going to make the game. Are you going to make the game, young man?
I hope so, yes.
Hello, hello, young man. Why, you're someone at my age. Were you in Rotterdam?
No, I wasn't. I couldn't get a ticket.
You tried?
I tried, but I couldn't get one.
Are you older than me?
Gotta be. How old are you?
Personal question, but I'm old. This is Turkey for you. This is this. Oh! I've only had one. How many? Well, you don't look old enough to drink.
Is this going on the radio?
Well, that's the whole point. That's what we're doing here. Say hello to Gabby.
Hello, Gabby. Up there, Villa boys.
Oh,
Gabby. Gabby, Bondo.
Come to see the Villa.
Champion, champion.
They've no idea what we're saying. Yippee-yi-oh! Whole tenders in the sky. Lovely. I hope I make the 10 o'clock kickoff.
Fantastic. I love the Holt Enders in. It's like Flanders and Swans version of Holt Enders in the sky. Anyway,
put the T on the T's. I like.
He was spotted in the crowd. Liam, our boss here, spotted him in the crowd last night. Everybody else is watching the game, but Rupert's turning around talking to someone. I hope that was the point that Wendy just curled it into the top corner. Anyway, just before he gets in the cab, he joins us live. Good afternoon, Rupert.
Hello, Rupert.
Good afternoon. And just for Charlie, I would say it was a wonderful performance from our team.
It was a lovely performance.
Yeah. Just to make you feel happy. But I must admit, I've just been up to the fan village yesterday. Fair play. But what there is evidence is a few bleary-eyed Villa fans wandering almost aimlessly around the city, wondering, probably not having had much sleep, like your correspondent, but also just trying to still reflect on what happened last night, which was just magical. So, and I know, well, my son, I think he had to leave fairly early this morning. I had one group of friends with me who didn't go to bed last night and went straight to the airport. So,
close though.
I've just seen a picture of Liverpool Street. They can't open their eyes.
I saw you swigging from a bottle of red wine at about 2 o'clock in the morning. So was that? What time did you finish up then?
I got to bed after the biggest kebab I've ever eaten in my life at about 3:30. And then, unfortunately, I had to be up to make a contribution to the... I had to make a call. But remember, bearing in mind, we kicked off at 10 o'clock, didn't finish till midnight.
Yeah.
And it was churlish. And by the time, after all the deliberations, to get out of the ground about 1 o'clock, to not actually party on.
Well, exactly, yeah.
And this city does have a 24-hour vibe. So I did what was only to be expected and of me, and carried on to the wee small hours. But it just, the whole thing it's been an amazing trip and experience, brilliantly organised. The Freiburg fans were off the charts brilliant. And obviously from our perspective, the Villa fans just have had a dream week. And you know what it's like to win the Europa League. Hopefully we don't have a next season follow-up season like you've had.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
after winning the Europa League.
Yeah.
But we hopefully we'll kick on and have some fun. And you never know it's going to be a big summer for us, because this is an aging squad, but at least this squad have achieved something that hasn't been done for 30 years. And in terms of Europe, obviously back to 82. So,
we are struggling with Rupert's line a bit.
For me, I've been in 48 hours.
We are struggling.
The line's hung over as well, Rupert.
Yeah, we are struggling a bit. Rupert, we'll let you get to the airport. We'll catch up with you soon. Congratulations again. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
There we are.
I tell you what I like about that squad, Paul, is that, you look at the people who are lifting the trophy, and they're not the greatest players in the Premier League. They're a really good team, aren't they?
They've got some standouts.
You've got some
Premier League
standouts,
players,
but also, you've got, John McGinn is not your archetypal first choice midfielder, is he? But what a player! What a player!
I think he'd get in the Torquay team, wouldn't he?
Well,
you've got a good midfield at the moment.
Dan Hayfield's very good. Dan Hayfield's very good. I don't know if he'd get in.
Sergei Gyokeres, the whole manager's been chatting to the press, and we're going to hear from him. He's actually doing it live now, so we will bring that to you shortly. Before that, though, Mikel Arteta has been chatting to the press, reflecting on the championship victory.
It's one of the best feelings I ever had. I'm supposed to be here at Colney watching the game with the boys and certain staff, because that's what they wanted, but I couldn't. I think 20 minutes later, before the game, I had to leave. I couldn't bring the energy that I wanted, and I think when it was their moment as well to watch it together, to be themselves, and just see what the outcome would be. And I went home, I went outside to the garden, I started to build some fire, and I started to do some barbecue. I didn't watch any of it. I was just hearing some noises in the background, in the living room, and suddenly the magic happened. My oldest son opened the garden door. He started to run towards me. He started to cry. He gave me a hug and said, "We are champions, Daddy."
Ah, brilliant.
What a great story. He has to have, I mean, the thing is, from his point of view, he has to have an eye on the next game, on the Champions League final, isn't it? And that thing of like, okay, you've climbed the mountain, but his job is now to say, you've got to go again.
He was thrilled to see Declan Rice and Eze and running around at 5 a.m. on
the weekend.
Got weeks.
The weekend doesn't matter. And they've got.
It's funny what you try and do.
The work starts on Monday, I guess you'll say.
I always trick myself that I'm going to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to turn it on at the end of the game. Just have a look at the score and thank you very. Perhaps you should do that Sunday, Paul.
Yeah,
just turn it on.
Unfortunately, it's easier when you're there. I'm going.
Yeah,
it kind of is easier with them,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Following it on teletext.
That's the theory.
You don't want to be doing that, Paul.
So, Wacker Blake joins us next of Bradford Bulls. We're going to have a chat with him. They're off to Vegas with Lee Centurions, which is quite the story. So we'll have a quick chat with him. And David Arrowsmith, author of Killing Maradona, a new book. Very interesting stuff, will be joining us for a chat in the studio as well. Plus, we've got birthday spread for you in the final hour. That's all to come.
I met Arteta for the first time in October in a restaurant randomly. And I said to him, we're going to win the league because you've got the squad now that you've wanted. It's your vision. These are your guys. They played with your values. And I am certain we're going to win the league. And, this is all on Mikel Arteta. I absolutely take my hat off to this guy. He has worked his process, worked his project to now the ultimate fruition. And I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And I was one of the doubters early on First 2 seasons, we lost 13 league games each season. I was one of those thinking he's too young, it's too early for him, it's too big a job. And then I remember like early 2023 doing a whole apology in the Sun to Mikel. And from that moment on, for the next 3.5 years, I've absolutely bought in to what he's doing because I could see what he was doing. And I just think Mikel Arteta, I want a statue, at least one statue of you, and I want a second statue of that idiotic Manchester City fan who did the bottle stunt because he must be feeling like the biggest mug in Britain right now.
Piers, I've got a question for you, mate. Fantastic Arsenal winning the...
Gabby, what about a public apology? What about just apologising to me?
Well,
and
before we get, I want to come in here as...
What for?
I want to come in here as referee, if I may. As referee, Piers, I think it's only fair. I mean, 2 words I never thought I'd associate with Piers Morgan are humble and pie, right? But we've got that from you this morning with Mikel Arteta. So I think it's only fair I give the floor to my man on my left-hand side, Gabby.
Arsenal fans, everyone out there supports Arsenal. I apologise for mocking the season. Calling you bottlers. Great team, great fans, great football club. I apologise.
Brilliant. Well done. Piers, I want to ask you, mate, you
where's
touched
that
on it.
utterly useless half-wit O'Hara who must be... I mean, how must he be feeling? Because I kept saying to you guys, I kept saying we were going to win the quadruple, and you didn't really understand what I meant. Arsenal to win the Premier League and Champions League, right? Cristiano Ronaldo to win the Saudi League, which he's about to do, and Tottenham get relegated. It is...
Well, cast your mind back 3 weeks. Villa were 1-0 down after a chastening semi-final first leg at Forest, and this was our Gabby.
Buendia, soft player, not good enough for Aston Villa. Onana, made out of straw.
But life for a Villa fan looks very different now.
Buendia! Curling one into the top left-hand corner.
Buendia, left foot from there, weaker foot, top corner. Freiburg fans are silence of the Villa!
Unai Emery's 5th Europa League, of course, and the ultimate good evening. He's now won it with Villarreal, Sevilla and Aston Villa. The future king was bouncing and gave credit to the injured Boubacar Kamara for laying the foundation for their success. Elsewhere, Jamie O'Hara has shared his verdict on Saturday's playoff final, which will be live on talkSPORT, of course.
I think it's a sham. You can't have a playoff final with a team who got beat in a semi. That can't happen. And all this is because EFL want their big money spinner, they want their big finish to the season with the big playoff final at Wembley.
We're also being told Tonda Eckert is likely to get sacked and a ban. And Emmanuel Petit, David Moyes, Fabian Hertzler, Kyle Walker, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and AJ Tracy will all be on the talkSPORT roster for the World Cup. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage all summer.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Now listen up, with the 2026 FIFA World Cup almost here, thanks to Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, talkSPORT is sending you and a friend to Dallas, Texas. You could be at England's first game against Croatia on June 17, with return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets and the official Adidas match ball, the Tri-Onda, all thrown in. So get ready for that winning feeling. Here's how to enter.
Yes, for your chance to win, you can head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or you can call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by the 1st of June 2026 at 4 p.m. and that's when you need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a TalkSport promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now.
As always, time to talk about the Rugby League.
Right.
This time of day, Super League.
Good season, really good season.
This weekend, some interesting games as always. Bradford Bulls are in action on Sunday afternoon. They go to Warrington. And a lot of excitement, I'm sure, amongst Bulls fans because them and the Lee fans discovered yesterday they're off to Vegas.
Yeah, very
They will
nice.
be the game that takes place in Vegas next year. The third time Super League has gone to Vegas with the NRL for that big party. And Bradford Bulls' Waka Blake joins us for a chat. Waka, how are you?
Hello, Waka.
Hey guys, how you going? Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're really welcome.
So is everybody buzzing about Vegas? I'm sure they are.
Yeah, everyone's bouncing around at training and at the club at the moment. Sort of found out on Monday. Didn't really think any of it until it sort of come around. So no, everyone's excited, and I think all the players and their families and partners, I think they've already booked to sort of head over to Vegas.
Yeah. Have you been watching the games being played over there the last couple of years?
Yeah, I have been. Obviously, come from the NRL myself, but I still follow NRL. At the moment, and just seeing the Super League clubs that have been going over there, I think it's been really good for the game over here. So yeah, it's exciting.
It kind of, both clubs have come a long way in recent years, haven't they? They're playing each other in the Championship not that long ago. So it's great that both clubs are going to be there over in Vegas representing Super League.
Yeah, I've seen this not long ago. I think I've seen a post of obviously Lee Leopards making the step up from Championship, and they're doing well themselves. And for us, making the step up, we're having a good year so far, and I think that this just tops it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good win last time out. Stop the rot. You had a 5-game winless streak, didn't you? But beat Hull.
And a try as well.
Yeah. I've been out of injury for the last 6 weeks, so we've had sort of a rough ride with injuries. We still got a few players out at the moment, so to come back and score a try and mainly, most importantly, get a win. So we've got a big task this week against Warrington, so we haven't had a away win yet. So looking forward to that.
You played for Bulls in the Championship, didn't you? So, what's it been like? You played there before in Super League, but what have you made of it going back up with Bulls? And some of your teammates who maybe hadn't played Super League before been surprised by the jump.
Yeah, obviously it was very, very new to me to be able to go to part-time, sort of used to that full-time structure my whole life. So it was definitely very humbling, and I'm very grateful that I was able to do that. But in terms for the players that made the step up, it was very good to see there's a few players there that sort of come up through the Bradford system, like Eben Skur. So seeing them excel and do well at this level, it's been really good.
I imagine that you're still a bit of a scout, Bradford, because of the Bulls name and the history of the team. It might be that you've only just come back up, but the big boys want to beat you because they remember when you're a dominant side.
Yeah. Obviously, with Leeds and the other teams that we played against, it was really great, to come back and have that rivalry again. And we get to play Leeds twice this year. So, just having everyone back at Odsal, I think it was very good for the club and its history.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, look, you're not far off a Challenge Cup the week after next as well, and we'll be building up to that next week. But, Waka, good to talk to you.
Thank you, Waka.
All the best for the rest of the season if we don't
Cheers,
speak
guys.
again, and good luck on Sunday. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Waka Blake there. Thanks to him. And, what a great story for Lee.
Lee and Bradford
Called them
Bulls.
Centurions, the old name. I've gone back in history. It's when they were playing in back in the day, I guess, against Bradford back in the Championship and beyond. So we got live rugby league for you this weekend on talkSPORT. I'll have to find out what the game is, and I'll ask that.
And then someone will tell us. Maybe someone will tell you in your ear, Paul.
Somebody will tell me, hopefully in my ear, the game we've got this weekend on talkSPORT before we finish this little bit. But as we said, we got the Challenge Cup final the following week. We'll be building up to that next week as well.
Yeah, Rupert's turning into prime Cluffy, they think. Young man.
Young man. He was going around saying, yeah. I mean, especially the second bloke who was about the same age as him, calling everybody young man.
We had lots of we've had lots of tree footballers. Do you still want those, Paul, or are you?
Give us a couple more if you like.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Palm Tree. There's a couple more.
Carlton Palm Tree.
Carlton Palm. No. Cole Palmer.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Carlton Palm Tree.
Well, it's Carlton Palmer, isn't it?
I quite like. I enjoyed it, Paul.
Okay. Well, it's as valid as any of the other rot you've come out with.
It's not me.
Oh, okay, no, it's fair enough.
Marco
it was
Silva,
your idea.
I know, but it's not
Jazz
me. It's
Odyssey.
the listeners. I'm just showing you. Yeah. Marco Silva Birch. Quite like it. Roberto from Sheffield. We're all Wednesday, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
We're not all of us Wednesday.
I don't think the Sheffield United fans are.
And after you killed off Terry Pine, and he's not, he is still with us.
I know he is. I've put that right. I've put the sorry.
Brent has said two different stories. So
two different. There was not two different stories. It was just me.
Just one story.
He's still with us at the grand old age of 87. What a player he was.
And Ben in Northampton thinks Leicester City have got a legitimate claim. I mean, I think this is going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
To be reinstated into the Championship due to our loss against Southampton.
Wow.
I mean, I think
good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
We talked about Oxford United getting a reprieve because they were spied on as well. One of our listeners said earlier.
Yeah, but that was hype.
Just let you know, you can watch a bit of Saudi football in the Saudi League, the Russian Saudi League. We've got Al Nassr FC versus Damak Club live on talkSPORT's YouTube tonight at 7 p.m. You can watch and find out if Cristiano Ronaldo will finally secure his first Saudi League title. And you can guess if he does, he won't make it all about him.
Hull KR. The Wigan Warriors.
Wigan Wanderers.
I'm going to try again.
Yes.
Hull KR versus Wigan Warriors tonight at 8 o'clock.
That's a big game.
And Castleford Tigers v St Helens Saturday at 3, both on talkSPORT 2.
Oh, great. We've got two games for you this week. Excellent. So there we are. Plenty of rugby league throughout the season. So, yes, we're going to be joined in the studio by David Arrowsmith, author of Killing Maradona, a new book. He'll be chatting to us very shortly. We're here with our very good friends at Toolstation. Make the switch to the Toolstation Trade Club. You'll save 10% on all electrical and lighting when you buy cables and flexes. First stop, Toolstation.
I thought it was great at the end of the game, the way the players were with him.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Emi Martinez picked him up.
Because we saw a wee side to him that you don't see.
Yes.
We saw a different side to him.
What was funny, though, when Emi Martinez picks him up, on the clip behind, you can see the players are a bit like Tyrone Mings. They're laughing like, oh, my God, how has he done that?
Yeah.
Because then they know that, like, the manager's not really like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to be the centre of attention.
Yeah.
But it was incredible scenes, Ali, afterwards. So emotional for so many Villa fans. And we were lucky to be in the stadium.
Brilliant.
All the clips back home, Ali, like, so many places showed the game. Thousands of fans on the streets still now celebrating across the world. How many fans I spoke to last night that have come from Australia?
See,
They've got 4 flights to get here.
Same.
Some fans have not had a hotel room overnight. They've got the early flight this morning, so they just stayed up. Some fans have got to get them back through Germany, through different parts of Europe to get home. But what that win means for every Aston Villa fan in the world, Ali, it's just unbelievable. I can't describe in words, and I hope we get some good callers on today. And they'll have their stories of what this means.
I'm
to
sure
them.
we will, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, 6. We're the champions, of course, rang out at Besiktas Park as Aston Villa get their hands on that Europa League trophy. I wonder if you've learnt the words by now, Gab. Here's
I
your...
know, mate, I know.
Well, listen, we're going to bring you back down to earth with a crashing bang, my friend. Here's your rendition of that classic last night in the stadium. was fantastic. Good on you. I was just
hilarious, mate.
I met all the Villa fans before the game, man, and they were brilliant, Gabby. Brilliant. Older gentlemen, young boys.
Ali, there's been no incidents.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut on it.
Bob Odenkirk! Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air. Amelia Clark!
Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
Go.
I'm loyal.
Don't tell Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1?
Exactly, that's true, yes. Just before we chat about the late great Diego Maradona, talkSPORT's very own Darren Bent has been speaking to the Arsenal striker Victor Gyokeres at Arsenal's training ground. Let's give you a flavour of that. I'm sure we'll have a longer version. It was a good chat, but for now, let's give you a little flavour of it.
And this season, obviously now you're a Premier League champion. It's been absolutely outstanding. But at times it's been a little bit, I wouldn't say it's been smooth. There's been times there's been bumps in the road. How have you yourself personally and the group managed to kind of deal with that, overcome some of those challenges, and of course sitting now as a Premier League champion?
I think it can be challenging, especially when Arsenal have been second a few years in a row. You can maybe it can affect you in wrong way when things aren't going smoothly on the pitch or with results. But I think we've definitely shown that we have handled it well and come back stronger every time. We haven't been at our best, and I think that's why we won the league.
There we are. That
his full kit there, Victor Gill. Was he just walking around in his full kit?
Well, I think if you've won the title, you just want to be spotted, don't you? Want to be spotted around town.
Must be for a photo shoot.
Wandering around, Hampstead in the full kit. You'll hear more of that chat between Benty and Victor Gyokeres a little bit later on talkSPORT. Now, it's been about 5.5 years since Diego Maradona died. But the fallout continues. You may not be aware of the fact that 8 of the people that looked after him, his medical team, are in the dock at the moment. It's the second time they've tried to bring the case against them. The first time, the judge who was presiding over it, unbelievably, and we've spoken to Tim Vickery about this, was making a documentary about it at the same time, which is absolutely nuts. So that was the end of that. They started again last month. They are charged with alleged homicide with eventual intent. They say they acted deficiently and recklessly. So the story of Maradona at the end is only really part of the story, and telling the fuller story and a bit of context around it is David Arrowsmith, who was last in to chat about his book Narco Ball, which was a very interesting read.
Yeah, good one.
How cocaine, the Camorra and crime corrupted football's greatest talent, killing Maradona. Good afternoon, David.
Hi, chaps. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, really welcome.
So these links between sort of Maradona and organised crime. I mean, in Narcoball, you tell a story, don't you, of him going behind bars, basically, to go and play in a game with Pablo Escobar at his request.
That's right. That's kind of how this book came about, really, almost in this very studio a couple of years ago, telling that story on the air. And I think a lot of people found that really interesting and engaged with that story of Maradona going to La Catedral, Pablo Escobar's gilded cage private prison up in the hills above Medellin, and playing this extraordinary game behind bars, behind closed doors with El Patron, and then partying with him afterwards in no uncertain terms, shall we say, and leaving in the morning with a big bag of cash. And people seem to find that story really interesting. And so when I was looking for a subject for my next book, one of the things I suggested to my publisher, we were thinking about 2026 as a release. And obviously 40 years now since The Hand of God, the goal of the century, Maradona winning the World Cup with Argentina and kind of ascending to ultimate football god status. So I suggested that I could do something interesting with Maradona. I was interested in the darker side of his life and the kind of dark influences within him that I think most of us are well aware of, his kind of addiction issues and the kind of demons that he fought himself. But I think perhaps slightly less appreciated is that bigger story of the way he was in many ways kind of manipulated, exploited and used by powers that are a lot bigger, smarter, scarier than he was, really. So the book is an attempt to show the sort of tragic inevitability of his rise and fall.
I mean, drugs, not just recreational drugs, but just drugs were so much part of his life. He was pumped full of drugs. I mean, a story I remember seeing in a documentary in like 1990 odd, that he would go into hospital once a year and have the cortisone scraped off his ankle joint because he was being pumped so full of cortisone just to keep him on the pitch because people wanted to see him play. I mean, if that sort of thing's going on to you, popping pills to keep you on the pitch, to keep you playing, it's kind of no surprise, really, that you end up going down this dark route, isn't it?
It started, almost from the age of 8 or 9 years old, and didn't stop until his death, basically. And when you look at the load that his body was under and what he did to it, but what was done to it by others in terms of both fouls and injuries and kind of freak accidents, but also, that kind of systematic injection, painkillers, in order for him to play, in order for him to either bring success on the pitch or often earn money by selling tickets and season tickets and selling out stadiums. He was constantly under that pressure, and he also put himself under that pressure. He wanted to play. He was a footballer who loved to play football, kind of lost his raison d'etre when he couldn't play and was really lost. But it's shocking what was done to him, from the age of 8 or 9, given supplements and drugs to kind of bulk him up because they were worried that he was a bit too small. And that just kind of started the process. And then at one point, he's having injections in order to facilitate the injections. He has to have like a pre-injection just to get his body ready to have the actual injection that he needs in order to take away the pain so he can take to the pitch.
If you think about it, Messi was also given growth hormone as a kid to bulk him up. But, he's gone down a very different route and still looked after himself. So he was flawed as a human being. We can't just paint him as the victim, can we? Really?
No, absolutely. He had his demons. He had his sort of own attempts to try and deal with some of that and some of the pressure he was under. And I think he didn't always make the right choices. He didn't always perhaps choose the right people to listen to. I think one of the things you can see about him is that he did believe in right and wrong, and but he was quite a black and white character. And he also, I think, never quite understood that maybe morality is a sliding scale and different people are on different parts of that scale, and there are grey areas. And for him, it was black and white. And I don't think he always was on the right side of that sometimes. There was always kind of the truth according to Diego, I think.
Yeah. And yet he still had this incredible career.
Yeah.
Is he the Diego Maradona we know and in many ways love without any of that happening, do you think?
It's such a difficult question to answer, isn't it? I think they're so intrinsic. He has this sort of anger inside him that he labelled his bronca, his anger that kind of powered him and fired him and inspired him. And I think that is all wrapped up in his childhood and his background and his kind of me against the world mentality. And that's also connected, I think, to his pressure release of using drugs and going out and drinking and all the excess that he indulged in. It's really hard to know, if he had been sanitized, if he had been playing in the modern era with social media and he'd been advised differently and he hadn't gone out and if he hadn't got addicted to drugs, what would have happened to him? It's really hard to know. What I think is incredible is the career he still managed to have, despite the fact that he was on, multi-day cocaine binges, then spending a few days sweating it out, getting clean, playing on a Sunday in Serie A, and then doing it all over again, plus getting injected for all these injuries, flying to Argentina, Uruguay, Japan, Africa to play matches, to be part of corporate sponsorship deals. It's just incredible that he even took to the pitch at all half the time, let alone a World Cup win, a World Cup final, 2 Scudettos, Coppa Italia, all kinds of, personal glory.
It's kind of sad, really, that he can't rest in peace. This thing, as we said, 6 years on, 5.5 years on, is still going on. There's still this court case. There's still a circus. There was a circus around him in death. I suppose it's the Elvis thing, isn't it? Really, but that was always going to be the case. But it's kind of sad, I guess, for his family.
It's very sad. It's very complicated. It's, as we were talking about sort of off air, it sort of feels sadly, tragically inevitable, really. He was sort of fated to live this life. When you look at the chapters of his life and all those sliding doors moments and all those decisions were made, it's really hard to see what would have happened if he'd done anything else. It just feels like he just had that path and this is where it led to. And kind of that's what I wanted the book to do, is to kind of show how he got there and why, in the full context of that it was in many ways inevitable. It wasn't entirely his own doing. There's the Camorra, there's the Argentine junta, there are the hangers-on and those that stood to gain from him, presidents and all kinds of huge, powerful
That's
groups.
the key, isn't it? That all these people gained from him.
Yeah.
They all made money from him, and they still make money from him in death.
Absolutely. I mean, he was the goose, that laid the golden egg. He was a cash cow, and they really milked him for all he was worth. And like I say, sometimes he was, fully willing in that. And he liked to play in charity games. He loved to play football, but he played in so many matches and was signed for so many different reasons, including, to cover basically the cost of a stadium expansion and things like that. So there were so many stakeholders in his success, but they weren't stakeholders really in his mental or physical health in any more than as long as he can take to the pitch on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, it's a fascinating story. We wish you well with the book, David. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you, David.
It's called Killing Maradona, How Cocaine, the Camorra and Crime Corrupted Football's Greatest Talent. And it's published by Octopus Books. And it's out today, isn't it?
It's out today.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. If anyone's in Sussex, I'm going to have an event at Waterstones Worthing on the 9th of June. So check that out on their website.
There's an audio book as well.
There's an audio book narrated by John Sackville, who narrated Narco Ball. So if you enjoyed that, it's a really good listen as well.
Fantastic. Good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you, chaps.
We'll be talking South American football once again with Tim Vickery. Of course, the Brazil squad will have all the fallout from that now. The dust has settled. Look at some of the other South American squads as they're announced with Tim in the next half hour of the show. Plus, of course, a birthday spread.
With Villa, right? Unai Emery is the man. He is like, he has full control over everything. Transfers, youth club. There's no one telling him what to do. And there's been rumours about him going to Madrid. Can you imagine him going to Madrid, mate? If he's going to bench Mbappe to play someone else, mate, he'd get ousted straight away, wouldn't he?
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the perfect fit. It's the perfect club. It's the perfect.
I know, but you're still Aston Villa, though.
What do you mean, Cundy?
Well, you mentioned Real Madrid, right?
Yeah.
Who's the bigger team?
What do you mean?
Oh, Cundy, come on, mate.
No, hold on a second. Hold on. Are you, sorry, have you taken stupid pills?
I don't know what. I don't know what.
Sorry, are we? Sorry.
What are you trying to say? Aston Villa bigger than Real Madrid?
No, of course not, mate. Of course not. But
No,
mate.
what are you trying to say, James? I don't know what you're saying. Explain yourself.
No, hold on. He's saying he wouldn't go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, because he's not in
Sorry,
control.
unless I've got you wrong, Dave.
Yeah, because he's not in control.
It's Real Madrid. What's wrong with you lot? Are you joking me?
Cundy, mate.
Are you joking?
Listen to me, right? Hang on, Cundy.
David. Listen to me. Are you saying to me he'd turn down Real Madrid?
As a manager? Right. So
no, man. What do you think I'm talking about?
Cundy, listen to me, right? He could go to Madrid, right? And
Dave, think about what you're going to say before you say it, okay?
Cundy, mate,
you've got time to think about it, okay?
You are.
Take
He's
it
annoying me.
Take it away.
Dave, he's annoying me.
Yeah, mate, your canister is way bigger than your brain, mate. I swear down.
Say it then, Dave. Say it. So here's the situation. I'm going to throw it to you. Do you want the job? Do you want the job?
It's career suicide, Cundy. It's career suicide. If you went to Real Madrid, right, you have 6 months, you'd oust Mbappe, you'd get ousted by the fans, and then he'd be done. Right? At Villa, I'll tell you what, he could play bloody Tyrone Mings at striker, and I'd still trust the process. Do you know what I mean?
Are you saying he's going to say no to Real Madrid?
Yes. Cundy, give Red a ball, mate. You're Chelsea. Where are you? 9th?
I tend to agree with you.
I don't know what to say today.
No, I get the whole. I get Jace. I get your whole argument. No,
I don't know what to say today.
Shut up a minute.
talkSPORT Sports Update powered by the Nissan Van range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With the headlines at 3:02, I'm Tom Clayton. Good afternoon. Kim Hellberg says it's been a mixed week of emotions as his Middlesbrough side were reinstated to the playoffs. But the Borough boss has insisted he had nothing to do with suggesting a punishment for Southampton.
I have nothing to do with the decision or punishment or what is right or wrong. I just talked about my emotions through the situation.
Meanwhile, Hull City manager Sergei Gyokeres insists his side was always going to be ready for Saturday regardless of the opponent.
We know everything about them, they know everything about us, so we will see now Saturday. Our main focus is all this, when we reach the finals, it's this final game. So no matter who will be our opponent, our focus and concentration is on our team, what we can do there, how we can use our advantages.
Well, should they lose the game, the Hull owner, Achun Ilichali, has suggested he'll review his legal options. The match is on Saturday at 3:30. It's live on talkSPORT. Meanwhile, Tonda Eckert could be sacked as soon as today. Southampton owner Dragan Solak is said to be involved in a serious meeting this afternoon, which Eckert will also attend. The club has begun to refund fans who'd already bought tickets for the playoff final. Now, could Levi Colwill be headed to the World Cup? It's our understanding he's in Thomas Tuchel's thoughts for being in the squad that's being announced tomorrow. As far as we're aware, all of Dean Henderson, Mark Gahey, Anthony Gordon, Lewis Hall and James Trafford are in. The squad's announced tomorrow morning. Get all the fallout on talksport.com. And Mikel Arteta has explained why he wasn't with the Arsenal players when they confirmed the title on Tuesday.
It was their moment, and they have to be themselves in that moment. And if I'm there, I think it was not going to be the same. And I'm glad they did it.
He's also said that Jurriën Timber could return to the training in time for the Champions League final. That's live on talkSPORT a week on Saturday.
talkSPORT News.
New measures have been set out to help ease the cost of living, and UK net migration's fallen to its lowest level since the start of COVID. Amelia has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep spring journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
Cloudy and breezy in the north and northwest with a few outbreaks of rain. Elsewhere, warm and sunny spells developing through the afternoon.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We will be chatting to Tim Vickery, our man on South American football, a little bit later on. And, of course, we've seen some of the squads announced from South America. More and more squads emerging. The German squad today. So we'll be getting Tim's take because the dust has settled a little bit, especially on that Brazil squad and some of the people that are missing. So that's coming up shortly. And, of course, we will have a birthday spread. And I think you clutched victory from the jaws of defeat last week, didn't you?
I did win last week, Paul. Yeah, I did. It was pretty easy last week, I felt. The kids' game.
Well, before all of that, though, of course, the fallout continues from Spygate, and Borough get that reprieve to go to Wembley at the weekend.
Yeah.
Live on talkSPORT on Saturday afternoon. And
surprise Wembley appearance.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is great news for our next guest because he's a lifelong Borough fan. He is also somebody who worked at the club for many years on the recruitment front, and along with clubs like Villa and Forest as well. And is Adrian Bevington. Good afternoon, Adrian.
Hello, Adrian.
Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Yeah, wow.
How are we?
Well, how are you? I mean, what can you?
Are you getting the ball out?
Yeah. What have you made of all this? I mean, as someone who's been in that position, I mean, we know the FA are now looking at what's gone on at Southampton. This was the EFL who were the arbiters of this, but still, it's an administrator at the sharp end, and you've done that and had to make big calls, and it was your club in the mix. So, what have you made of it?
Well, thankfully, I've not had to deal with something of this type before from my memory. It's certainly been somewhat out of the blue and become so complicated, and the stakes are so high for it. And my sense when it first sort of blew up, I think it was the Thursday before the first game at the Riverside. I realised that this was a big issue immediately. I was at the game, the first leg, and obviously, as you've said there, I've worked for Middlesbrough, and while I've genuinely had no input or any discussion of any sort with anyone in the hierarchy at the club about this, I knew just from the local media how seriously Middlesbrough were taking it. And I've worked for the club before, and had the pleasure of working for Steve Gibson, who is an absolutely fantastic guy to work for, but he will always do everything he can to defend sporting integrity and protect his club. So I knew there was a serious situation for the EFL to deal with from the very beginning, without really, like anybody else, knowing exactly how it would play out.
You do sense, Adrian, that Steve Gibson and the club must have had a pretty good indication that the EFL were taking this seriously pretty early on because of the statements coming out of the club. Because it would have been easier to have had a couple of conversations with the EFL and come back and said, yeah, it's going to be a fine. It might be some points next year. But they clearly got a sense quite early on that this was a possibility.
They kept training as well, didn't they? Yeah.
I think the key thing for me here is, look, I mean, and obviously there's been a lot of discussion, conjecture from some people who've been right across every element of it, but there's other people who've just got to know a little bit more about it. It's become more and more of a big story, and the punishments have been issued. I think some people were taking it, it wasn't such a big transgression. What's the big issue? Even last night, people were talking about it that way. If it's not such a big issue, why have Southampton, as has been proven from the outcome of the case, why have they gone to do this at such lengths on at least 3 occasions that we're aware of, if there's nothing to be gained from it? And it's down to sporting integrity at the end. So I think the reality for the EFL here is they do have that rule in place. And I think the big debate that everyone's been discussing and arguing about is whether the penalty is actually appropriate or disproportionate. I think the word is probably being used more than ever before over the past 10 days. But if you're going to have a rule brought in after the previous instance that we had of spying when it was the Leeds Derby scenario, there's got to be some measures in place. I think the fact that, from what I've read in The Athletic, I think it was, that there were club officials from Southampton, analysts, who were called to give evidence. Obviously, they've gone through various phone records, allegedly, according to the reports I've read, and the fact that there is this evidence of at least 3 situations of spying on training sessions. And, there's a lot of detail into all of that. It is a serious matter. And so I wasn't wholly shocked by the outcome when it was delivered on Tuesday evening, I've got to say.
What will, I mean, look, I know you're not there at the moment, but you've been in these positions as at the FA in a senior position. The FA are now looking into what's happened with Southampton. What can they do over and above what the EFL have already done, which is dock points and obviously boot them out of the competition?
Yeah, I think this is where you get into the situation around disciplinary matters around individuals in particular, because obviously the jurisdiction that the EFL have had to deal with is regarding the club and the competition, which is their competition, or in this situation, two competitions, the playoffs themselves, as they're seeing it, and then the actual main body of the season. So, as is being speculated and reported, and now the FA have said they're looking into this, you would have to say anyone who has actually actively been found guilty of transgressing on these regulations could very well face disciplinary action as an individual. And I think the best comparison to draw with that would be when we saw Bev Priestman and a couple of the staff from the Canadian team at the Olympics a couple of years ago, when I think they flew a drone over a game at the New Zealand training camp, didn't they? And they were banned for 12 months from world football on the back of that. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen here, but obviously the FA do have the ability to suspend people for long periods of time.
And they'll look further into who knew what and when and who was instigating this stuff, because that's quite key, isn't it? There's been a lot of talk about Tonda Eckert, whether he loses his job or not, and the owner is heading there for conversations today. But I suppose the FA will need to get to the bottom of a timeline.
That's really important. And look, with everything that we have now, with when you work in football, as with many other industries, you're aware that clearly when you're sending messages or emails, having conversations, they're all trackable. Your phone records or your email records. And I'm sure this will be part, as was part of the EFL's independent commission's investigation, this will be part of how the FA go about that. And ultimately, it's, I think there's been a lot of focus on one individual, a young individual who was the person who was identified as spying on Middlesbrough's training session in the first place. But if they've been spying and they've been transmitting the evidence back to Southampton Football Club, who are they submitting it back to, and who knew what? And I think ultimately that's when you come down to who in authority is aware of that, because that's where ownership, culture, culpability comes in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, let's park all that, because purely as a fan, you've got a second bite of the cherry. So
exciting.
Are you going to be heading down to Wembley, Adrian?
I am, yeah. It's been a crazy, like I'm sure for a lot of people in this part of the world, it's been a crazy 48 hours. There's a scramble being going on for so many people to get tickets and transport and hotels and everything. But yeah, I'm heading down there tomorrow, and I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful occasion, as the playoff final always tends to be. It's one of the great games in world football now, just because of everything that's riding on it. So really looking forward to that. I'd just like to add something else there, guys, as well. I think it's important. From the Southampton fans' point of view, I totally appreciate that they are going to be feeling pretty sore at the moment for a whole range of reasons. And, it's the fans that are ultimately the most important people in football. It's a glib thing, easy thing to say, but it's not meant in that way.
Well, it's the total betrayal, isn't it, of them? And
they say they're the collateral damage in all this, aren't they? Really?
Well, I always think when you're involved in a senior football position, and certainly when inside of a football club, if you're the owner or certainly in the senior executive positions, you're the custodians of the club. Your job is to do the very best you can and conduct yourself in the best way possible, and try to leave the club, when you eventually do leave it, in a better shape than when you went in. But at least as a minimum, while you're in there, comply with sporting integrity, shall we say, and the rules and regulations while you're in that organisation. But that aside, I think it's it's all set for a very good game. From memory, I think Middlesbrough beat Hull at Hull, but I think Hull beat Middlesbrough at the Riverside. So it's wide open come Saturday.
And finally, just briefly, you were the managing director of the Club England at the FA through Euros and World Cups. We got a squad announcement tomorrow. Was it always very exciting at the FA the night before? I guess it was, and trying to keep it under wraps because we find increasingly these days the agents can't contain themselves. They tell their mates who tell us, and all of us seem to know the squad is long before it's officially announced.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to keep things tight, but it is a really exciting time because this is the moment where everyone starts focusing on the tournaments, and I'm sure that everyone inside the FA, like all the football coaches as well, will be so excited about finally, once the squad's announced, it's kind of, right, we're on track now. I know we've got the Champions League final next week, and we've still got Palace in their final as well, but we've got, a lot of focus on the World Cup now. So it's a really exciting time. I don't think they'll be too fussed if they can't control everything with regards to things leaking here and there. That's not the end of the world. The most important thing is to get the right group of players and they have a good tournament.
Absolutely. Adrian, appreciate your time.
You, Adrian.
Thanks for joining us. Safe journey down and enjoy the match Saturday. All the best.
Luck at the Borough.
Thank you.
That's Adrian Bevington there, lifelong Borough fan and former head of recruitment at the club and MD at England.
That's going to rumble on, Paul. That's what, as they say.
As I said, there's so much more fallout to come. It sounds like the sort of thing that would happen in South America with respect to Tim Vickery. So I tell you, it'll be quite interesting to see what he's made of
it. Yeah.
Well, Bielsa
might just shrug.
Bielsa was involved. He might just say, yeah. And probably people in South America saying, what's the problem?
What's the issue? Yeah.
Anyway, we'll ask Tim that. We'll get all the fallout from the squad announcements, especially Brazil. He's going to be joining us next. And just a reminder that all the playoff finals, including the Championship playoff final, 3:30 on Saturday, live and exclusive on the talkSPORT network. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation, open from 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Grab what you need, get on site, get it done. First stop, Toolstation.
What was your overriding emotion last night, watching it all unfold and feeling as you do for this great club?
I think for me, it's Aston Villa, a sleeping giant. European Cup winners in 1982. All you ever heard was, you wasn't born. You wasn't born when Villa won that. They've only won, last trophy was 30 years ago. So it was that pressure, sort of that monkey off the back for Aston Villa fans and the players and the football club. But emotion as well, Jim, because I spoke to so many Villa fans, parents that have passed away, family members that have passed away, and what this would have meant to those people that aren't here today. And people are going through a lot. Everyone's going through a lot, football fans. What last night can do to give people a boost, what they're going through in their life. It was amazing to see my people, my fellow Brummies, so happy.
Brilliant. Your people. You're right, your people. In terms of legendary status, Gabby, where is this group now?
Oh, they're legends. And I say this all the time, Jim, I don't like to be called a legend. I feel legends of a football club need to win something. I really do. The 1982 players, they're legends of the football club. Now, these group of players are, and the one player, I don't like to pick one, but the one player that stands out for me is our captain. Scotland are lucky to have him, John McGinn. Immense, and I was so happy for him, what he's been through for this football club. The small price that Aston Villa paid for him, was it 2.5 million? What a player, what a nice guy, and what a captain.
Gabby, can I ask you personally, did you watch with regret last night that you never quite experienced a night like that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, we got to the Carabao Cup final, we got to the FA Cup final and lost, but to get to a European final and get it over the line, the pressure that was on the players, because they were highly favourites in the game as well, to win against Freiburg, it wasn't like a jealous feeling. It was like, wow, I missed out. Wow, what I'll do to be on that pitch to share that, because the players know, Jim, the players get it, what it means to the Aston Villa fans to win another European Cup title.
It's Danny Tyre! Week not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut.
Bob Odenkirk!
Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air.
Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely.
Go.
I'm loyal.
Don't tell Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1.
Exactly, that's true, yes.
Well, time to head to Rio for fallout from the Brazil squad and more with our man Tim Vickery. Hi, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
Very good afternoon to you, gentlemen. How you doing?
Yeah, but you've been a busy man last 36 hours, I'm sure, since they announced it.
Matchsticks are now holding these eyes.
Yes, I bet they are. Yeah, make the money while you can, Tim. Neymar. We were on Neymar watch with you, and I can't even. Your gut feeling was he wasn't going to make it. Were you surprised when he crept in by the skin of his teeth?
No, because the word coming from the well-placed, as last week wore on, the word coming out was, it looks like he's in. So in the end, it wasn't a surprise, although it was incredibly dramatic. They put on an absolute mega event. I've never seen anything like it for a World Cup call-up. And usually there's an air of sombriety, is that the word? Whatever the word. There's an air of that. Yeah. Whatever that word is, there's an air of that. It's a serious thing, you know. It's either they do it in the offices of the Brazilian FA or in a hotel, but it's the journos there asking heavyweight questions. This time they just did it as a mega event, and it was a huge mega event. There's this hall full of celebrities and influencers, and I suspect there may well have been more influencers in the hall than people capable of being influenced. So it was just this huge celebrity thing. And so, you know, the names are being read out, and instead of, you know, us journos seriously ticking them up, no, it just whoops and so on. And when it gets to Neymar, and we knew, because he went position by position in alphabetical order, and when he pulled from Igor Thiago, which is a fabulous story, fabulous story, Igor Thiago to Luis Henrique, and there's no João Pedro. Oh yeah, that means Neymar's in. And when Neymar's name's announced, the whole just goes just absolutely berserk, just berserk. You know, there's songs and sketches and jokes, old and new, and dances, and everyone's going mad. And in the end, Ancelotti just watches this and then just raises an eyebrow. Roger Moore starts. Go on.
Yeah, I know. When I was in at Rio, when I ran into you, well, we had a chat over there. We went into sort of Centro, and there's this massive market right in the centre of town, and it's like full of knockoff shirts. Yeah, they're everywhere. Everywhere you go,
I've brought a few back in the past.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. I mean, thousands and thousands of them over. It feels like a mile in this big square, and there were so many Neymar shirts, which made me feel he was still popular. Then you hear the cheer he gets when he's announced. So it's almost like by popular, the people still love him despite what they're seeing with their own eyes at Santos, aren't they?
It's a love-hate thing. I mean, the country is very, very divided, and this is all very tiresome. But it does a little bit reflect the political divide in the country as well. Certainly, as far as the right wing are concerned, because they've really, really adopted him. But there are plenty who are a little bit disappointed with Ancelotti for doing this. But those who support him are very, very numerous and very, very vociferous. And it is like a religious icon. And what Ancelotti has done, and I'm not saying he's wrong here, And who am I? You know, but what he's doing is, in two senses, it's an act of faith. Because what we're seeing on the field it really doesn't justify this. And Ancelotti, he has taken the space of João Pedro, and lots of people now who support him are really trying to deny that he's taken the place of João Pedro. But he's taken the place of João Pedro. Fact. And when he was pushed on this, Ancelotti was really uncomfortable in the press conference. Really uncomfortable. And he said, yeah, João Pedro deserves to be in. But Neymar's got a few more weeks to get his fitness up, you know. So it's an act of faith that the player that existed before that serious knee injury in October 23 still exists. That's an act of faith, because we're not seeing. It could well be now that this weight is taken off his mind, he will get better, and that's entirely possible. And you can see how a fit Neymar could work, slipping through the passes for the likes of Vinny Jr. and Rafinha. It could work, but it's an act of faith. Perhaps harmed a little bit by the fact that he's picked up another injury and he didn't play last night, and he might be out for a little while again. The other act of faith that Ancelotti is making, and this came across very clearly in the press conference, is he's just so cool.
Yeah.
It's an act of faith in his own capacity to deal with the forces of the circus that he has just opened up. Because for months now, the battleground has been, is Neymar going to get in? Is Neymar, call up Neymar. He's in now. The battleground now is Neymar going to be in the starting lineup?
Yeah.
Put him in the starting. He's got to be in the starting lineup. And for the first time in his certainly his Brazil career, Ancelotti is promising that Neymar is going to be treated like one of the group. No special privileges. No. And Ancelotti went out of his way to say, I don't want stars. Pal, you've just called up the biggest one of the lot, you know. And so this is a test of Neymar's capacity to not be the top guy anymore. You know, Ancelotti's saying, he made it pretty clear that he's not in his starting lineup at this moment in time, or the opening game against Morocco. He said it's up to Neymar to change that with his what he does on the training ground. He could start, he could play for 5 minutes, he could not play at all. It's up to him. So this is a little bit of Ancelotti style tough love, which is something I don't think Neymar's ever really experienced.
No,
in his life.
I mean, he is their secret weapon, isn't he? I think Ancelotti, he's just so kind. He'll cut through the hysteria. He's a great man to have in charge. I did feel for João Pedro's family as well. They did that kind of NFL draft, sit with the families. All his family is sitting there and he doesn't get picked. It was sort of broken.
I wonder now if he regrets giving those interviews saying that he wanted Neymar to be included.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could be. Now,
not instead of me.
I'm sure you'll be popping up on the station once the Argentina squad is announced, if not with us, probably sooner. But let's quick one on Christian Romero. 2 big games this Sunday, but which one will he be at, Tim? Do you know?
I do, yes. Okay. He will be at the final of the Argentine Championship.
Like a good club captain, not at the biggest game in Tottenham's history since 1976. Then. Fantastic. True to the end. Good old Christian, true to the
end. Between Belgrano and River Plate.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I knew this would wind you up. Just light the touch paper and retreat to a safe distance. Luckily, I am at a safe distance on the other side of the Atlantic. It's the final of the Argentine Championship this Sunday. It's Belgrano against River Plate. Belgrano are Romero's club.
Right.
So he's got to be fair, you know. It's a club that he started. He's a fan. He's a fan of the club,
as opposed to the one that pays his wages.
Good point, well made. And Belgrano have never won the Argentine title, so this really is historic. And they're going to River Plate, who have won it more times than anyone else. And what adds an extra bit of patang, if you needed any, for this game, is that 15 years ago these sides met home and away in the clash, the playoff that relegated River Plate. And if Tottenham going down is off the scale, River Plate going down is even more off the scale, because the relegation system in Argentina is done over an average of 3 years, exactly to protect the big clubs against a bad campaign and ensure that they don't go down. But even so, Belgrano 15 years ago managed to relegate River Plate and send them for a year in the second division. I wonder now, Mr. Hawksbee, sir, if you think this Argentine-style relegation over an average of points over 3 years is something that the Premier League might be thinking about.
As long as it's not over 2 years, because we're definitely going down. Aren't we really? And I'll be wearing my River Plate shirt of the week. I think that's terrible. I think it's terrible that he goes and watches a club he supports as opposed as the club captain of a team that's threatened with relegation, that he's not there.
He should be there.
With the lads and all the other injured players. But, you know, I mean, as I said, true at the end, I always thought that Christian Romero was just passing through and that Tottenham were a distraction from Argentina. But I am quite bitter. You catch me in a quite bitter moment, Tim. So, good to talk to you. We'll catch up with you next week. All the best.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
There we are. This Tim Vickery, our South American football correspondent. Birthday spread up next. Feeling confident?
What? I forgot that it was on.
Okay, of course. Yes, very chilled. Anyway, Jeff and Andy joining us in a few moments' time.
It is a sensational story and so many strands to it. And I've seen a lot of Southampton fans who've come out in condemnation of the club. They say this is the darkest day in their long history. And I think a lot of Southampton fans are quite embarrassed at the way in which their name has been dragged through the mud. As you say, the punishment is immediate expulsion from that playoff final on Saturday, the £200 million game. So they have been stolen of the right to possibly get back into the Premier League the first time of asking, and a 4-point deduction for the start of next season. That's because, as I understand it, the EFL argued that the playoffs needed to be treated as a separate cup competition. Obviously, Southampton admitted spying on Middlesbrough, so that's where that punishment comes from. They also admitted over the course of this hearing with the Independent Commission spying on at least 2 other Championship teams, which is why there's also a points penalty for next season. Southampton appealed it immediately, not because they feel they're innocent, but because they feel the punishment doesn't really befit the crime. One of the things I was told coming out of St Mary's is they feel this is unprecedented. It is, because there isn't a precedent. I know that Marcelo Bielsa escaped with a fine, but it was only after that incident ahead of the Leeds final playoff with Derby that it was put in the rule book. So this is uncharted territory. Southampton have told staff in an email that I've seen from the Chief Executive, Phil Parsons, their legal team are confident they've got a strong case. They're going to keep preparing for this game on Saturday. I don't think it's going to be overturned in terms of Southampton being allowed to play this final. What could happen is a sort of halfway house where the points deduction gets rescinded. But I think there's enough evidence that Southampton will not take their place at Wembley. We're hearing stories of analysts dressing as staff wearing the kits of non-league Eastleigh when Ipswich were using their training ground in order to spy. So this is quite sinister in many ways. This is not just some bloke who's turned up at the Middlesbrough training ground and filmed a few minutes of training. So I think they're banged to rights. I think they've shown very little contrition. I think it's poor that we haven't had a statement from Southampton in the aftermath of this punishment. We still haven't heard officially from the club.
Yeah,
we're a long way down the line now. Surely they should have had something.
Following last night's Europa League final, Gabby Agbonlahor says it's now a no-brainer as to who starts at 10 for England this summer.
Ali, there's no debate between now and the World Cup of who's going to play number 10. We're going to need something else to talk about on talkSPORT because it's Morgan Rogers.
And the question is, can Unai Emery's side now kick on domestically?
I don't see how Villa can, because it's weighted against them. Could they with this manager? Could they with this owners? Could they with this scale of a football club and their support base? Absolutely could. Will they be allowed by the construct of the way that the rules are put in place now? How can they?
Now, could Southampton sack Tonda Eckert by the end of today? He's arrived at the training ground, and we understand Saints owner Dragan Solak is en route. Well, the FA has opened up its own investigation into the individuals involved in Spygate, and do Hull City have a case to sue the EFL if they lose this weekend's playoff final? Here's football finance expert Stefan Borson.
I think there is an argument to run that says Middlesbrough are out. Millwall are out. So there is nobody left in this mini competition that we're talking about There is nobody left for Hull to play.
And PSG's Ousmane Dembele is confident he'll be fit for the Champions League final. That's despite limping off during their final league game of this season.
Time then for the birthday spread. Stupid kids game, waste of, well, in this case, about 23 minutes. 10 birthdays, collected by Andy Jacobs. He's got a little gag attached to each one. It's the job of myself and Charlie to try and guess. What's the matter?
Whenever I say that and you say that, I always like it out when Andy goes, oh, well, don't say that.
Oh, okay. Like, sell it hard.
He puts a lot of work into
don't
this,
distance
Paul,
yourself.
and we're calling it a stupid kids game.
Look, we're
half an
as
hour.
much part of it as he is.
Could just talk about football for 25 minutes.
Yeah, we could do. So anyway, we've got to try and guess the ages of these people. A margin of error will build. Good afternoon, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Good afternoon. And
do you mind us saying it's a stupid kids game, waste of half an hour?
No, I agree.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's all right then.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello. Charlie has won 4 of the last 6 after losing 9 in a row. He was 8 behind with 2 birthdays to go last week.
He's finally got the hang of it all these years on.
The people's favourite.
Yeah, that's right. Very much. Very much. Marvellous.
Get a move on, Charlie.
Let's get underway, shall we? It's Pele and Sergio Mendes. Charlie will lead us off as he won last week. Here we go, Andy. Thank you.
Okay, the first birthday of the week is the guitarist and record producer Robert Fripp. Robert Fripp.
Oh, yeah.
And he always asks,
Robert Fripp. Yep.
He always asks my opinion on where to go on holiday and which hotels and restaurants to avoid. Yeah. Yes, I'm a Fripp advisor.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
I like that.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay, nice.
Robert
Got a bit of Krusty and Shaban there.
Shaban, yeah, that's right. You had both there, did you? You put them together. That's very good. Yeah, that was Shaban's laugh she did last week.
Nice.
Very crusty.
Adding it to the Josh Whittaker. Hey, Josh Whittaker, now he's big name.
Yeah, Josh Whittaker laughs like a duck. Have you got that one, Jeff?
We've got that one, Jeff. There it is.
Let's hear it again.
Yeah, we'll be hearing that one strictly.
Right. The thing's, if he does it, someone's going to shoot him with a blunderbuss, aren't they? So Harold.
Come on,
Harold's Robert Fripp.
No, I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Just say what he does again, Andy.
Guitarist and record producer.
Okay.
Is he married to Toya Wilcox?
Oh, that's giving
married to Toya Wilcox. Don't be helping him. Don't be helping him, Andy.
Yes, with the clue.
With your OK Magazine nonsense.
And their birthdays are 2 days apart.
Oh,
really?
Robert Fripp and Toya. I don't know why Andy just did Robert and not Toya. It's a mystery.
That's nice.
That's nice, wasn't it?
So now you know roughly how old he is.
He's Tonda Eckharted it.
She may have married a much older or younger man. You don't know, do you?
I know who he is.
Maybe
he's about
18-year-old Robert
76.
He probably is, maybe even a bit older. King Crimson. You never heard King Crimson?
Yeah.
78.
He's 80.
Is he really? Wow.
Okay.
He's a bit older than her, isn't he, Jeff? A little bit. Yeah.
She's a few years younger. Paul 2, Charlie 4.
Okay, 2-4. There we are. We alternate, so there's no skullduggery and birthday number 2.
No skullduggery. Yeah.
No.
Birthday number 2. She can't turn back time. It's Cher.
She can't turn back time.
She can't turn
That's just what she wants. It's like you announced her onto the pitch.
I mean, she kind of has, though, hasn't she? Let's face it.
Number 6. She can't turn back time. It's Cher.
Fabian Cher.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Actually, I've met her because my cousin.
Oh, wow.
My cousin was a dead ringer for her, and I'll never forget when we bumped into her, and you couldn't tell them apart. It was Cher and Cher alike.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
I thought you actually had met her for a minute. I believe some of this nonsense.
I've never done any of these things.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, I thought that's a book in this. There must be a book in some of these stories. Fripp Advisor, people phoning you up.
Advisor.
Okay, it's Cher.
Yeah,
I mean, she's not quite in the Fripp envelope, is she, with respect, but she's probably...
Cher.
I mean, she's a big star in the 60s. She's got to be... She don't look it.
Don't tell me your workings out, Paul.
She's got... Well, I'd like to do...
I might have never heard of Cher.
73.
Oh, I think she's older than that.
73. If I could turn back time. 73.
Does he love me? I want to know.
How old is she? Yeah.
Making myself laugh. Sorry.
How old is she?
She is 81.
No.
80?
No. And Robert Fripp.
There they are, Paul.
Yeah.
Wow, she's 80.
Robert Fripp.
That's amazing. Happy birthday.
So it's the Dolly Parton scores.
Yes.
It's Paul 9, Charlie 5.
Okay.
Very good.
5. On to birthday number 3, back to Charlie.
Yes, it's the fine goalkeeper, Petr Cech.
Oh, Petr Cech.
Yeah.
According to The Guardian, he only played for Arsenal. Thanks very much.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
That's bad.
Czech Republic and
It's been all Arsenal this week.
I know, it's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, every year his family go on holiday with the brood of the former Yorkshire cricketer Gary Balance.
Yeah.
The resort they go to are always very grateful because everyone needs checks and balances.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, good.
Yeah,
It was good to see a bit of a tribute. There we are. Robert Sanchez doing his Petr Cech tribute the other night, Andy, in the cap.
with the cap.
In the scrum.
If you squinted, you could believe it was him until the match actually started.
Oh, yeah.
My son was...
Well, I mean, he saw a lot of the ball because basically every cross and shot we put straight into his hand. So, yeah, it's quite easy for him, yeah.
My wife made a Petr Cech birthday cake once for my son.
Did she really?
Full head.
You said he was
quite easy.
You said he was a Goonie or something.
He ended up
played for Arsenal. Of course, he played for Arsenal famously.
Just read the Guardian.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
But it was all skull cap. It was all sort of black, all black icing.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah,
good. You haven't got any left.
No, none left. No, a long time ago. Right, come on. Petr Cech. How old is he?
Yeah,
41.
44.
44.
Oh,
Standard.
Not so bad.
It was a Banbury cake.
Oh, so I stay on.
What a shit. The acting then.
It was a.
And the budget goes to.
Harold.
I worked out.
Your evening, Harold.
I worked out when he played, when he retired. It was just simple math.
What a cheat. Looking
Paul
in the
9,
papers.
Charlie 8, 9
Okay.
8. Charlie leads by 1.
Back to me, birthday 4.
Okay, it's the fine gymnast Olga Korbut.
Oh, yeah.
may have appeared before.
I think she may have done. Well,
The 6th time.
I think we've celebrated her birthday more than many of her family.
Who can forget? You won't forget the comedy sketch show she used to do on Russian TV with Olga Barker. The two Olgas.
That's the
and
two
Olgas. Their famous skit, 4 floor routines.
4 floor routines.
4 floor routine.
Doesn't really work.
I think you should have tried a bit harder on that one.
4 sandals? No,
4 sandals.
I tried 4 balance beams, but that didn't work either.
Nice rubbish. Yeah.
Me, is it?
Yeah.
Olga
No, Paul, it's you.
No, it's
It could
Paul.
have, a vaulting horse. It could have been 4 handles.
Yeah, there we are. 4 handles.
That would have worked.
That's one for next year.
That's it. Yeah, go on, write that down if we're still here.
It's
a big F after this. So where are we at? Olga Korbut.
Oh, yeah, you just cheated and got one spot on, so it's you first.
All join in if you know the words. We didn't have words, did it? It's an instrumental, don't say it.
No.
It probably did. Anyway, 79. No, I've gone mad.
You've gone mad.
I have
You
gone
said
mad.
it, Paul. You've answered.
Said it. I can't go back.
You can go back. I'll let you go back
No.
if you want to go back.
I'm not a cheat, Charlie. I may be many things.
Standard. The Banbury cake.
I've gone too high, haven't I?
I think you've gone too high. I think she's 68.
Yeah, I think you've done.
She's 71.
Ooh, not bad, Paul.
Could have
not
been
bad.
worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
Why did I think she was that old? What's happened to the scores, Jeff?
There's 6 in it. Charlie on 11, Paul on 17.
I think she still does the balance beam and
I wouldn't think so. Not 7. Maybe
71.
She's probably in good nick, I would imagine. Yeah, she looks after herself.
backflip.
Can your nan do a backflip? I mean, not
backflips. Good for you for Robert Fripp for next year.
That's it. Right.
It was a backflip.
Let's go into half time then.
Do they have backflips in Russia, Olga?
Yeah. Let's go into half time then. It's
half time.
17-11.
Oh,
don't shout half time randomly.
I meant the
half
name.
time. Not now, Bernard, was it?
Yeah. Go on then.
Sorry, Bernard.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the chairman of the Football Association from 2013 to 16, and the Director General of the BBC from 2000 to 2004, Greg Dyke.
Greg Dyke. Big Brentford fan, isn't he?
Yes, he had to have his prostate examined actually by Britain's youngest urologist.
Oh, right,
Yes, he was a boy with the finger in the. Yes.
God!
Wow! Wow! It really went downstairs there, didn't it? I thought there's a few ways he can go here, and it went none. And to be honest, it went none of them.
It's important for men to know about these things.
Yeah,
It is.
So,
service we offer.
Okay, blimey. How old's Greg Dyke, more to the point?
You don't have to have a finger up the bum anymore. We've been told.
I know you haven't.
You can have a blood test now.
I know. We know all this, Charlie.
Charlie, Greg Dyke, what's your guess?
How old's Greg Dyke?
That
You're
joke
a finger
wouldn't
in the
work.
dike.
But it wouldn't work, would it, on the joke?
No, with a blood test, it wouldn't
the
work.
blood test. It worked.
The little boy who gave Greg Dyke a blood test. Much of a gag, is it? Well, actually, it wouldn't be your worst.
One of Jeff's toppers.
Yeah.
Here we go. Greg Dyke is. How old's Greg Dyke?
Yeah, well, that's the idea.
Yeah, 78.
He did grimace quite a lot, Greg, so maybe it was going on while he was doing press conferences. 79.
Oh.
No.
What?
73.
Oh, sorry, Greg.
No.
Okay.
We don't know, Andy. We haven't looked at the papers.
What's that done to the scores?
No, we both haven't. One of us has.
No, he's. Are you sure? Sure he's not 79, Andy?
Oh, blimey. Sorry, I've written it down wrong.
Spot
well
on.
done. Sorry.
Brilliant acting from Paul, wasn't it? Because he was found out.
Sorry, that
sure,
is.
Andy's not 79.
That is entirely my fault.
I never
said in the Herald this morning.
Thank you, Jeff.
So the scores at half-time, it's the overture. It's Paul 18, Charlie 12.
18-12.
What a game we've got. Let us know how you're getting on. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet to TS8&J, and we'll bring you the best of those in a few moments' time. Somehow we're still here with Tool Station. First stop for everything for the job. 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Start strong. Start it right. First stop, Tool Station.
I mean, he's been given 7 years. And of course, during that 7 years, what he's done is incremental progress. There's a little bit of flatlining. I mean, I wrote an article in 2023 saying that they had to spend £250 million to stand still after that first season where they finished second and they blew it themselves. And they did spend £250 million to stand still because they finished second each season. But you've seen the evolution of his thinking. You've seen the evolution of the manner in which it interacts with the media. You've seen the style of play change. Yeah. You've also seen them become more competitive in Europe at the same time because people turn around and say you can't have both. If you're going to do well in the league, you might find yourself being compromised in the Champions League, but they've gone deeper in the Champions League than perhaps some of their predecessors, notably Arsene Wenger, did for significant periods of his time during his tenure. So he's won on most fronts. So you have to give him all of the plaudits that this achievement deserves because the end has justified the means.
What was the defining moment, Danny? Did the signing of Declan Rice appear on that particular list if you're looking at what really clinched it?
Well, he's been a big factor, but he's been there a little while where they haven't got over the line. So I actually thought this season, the defeat at Arsenal kind of Man City set them free a little bit because then they became the chaser and it was a bit like, oh, nothing to lose, let's go. And they went again. Although they weren't brilliant, it still gave them a new focus and a new impetus.
Well, some thought they'd bottle it after that.
They did because they've done it before. But I think Arteta deserves... When you look at the numbers, which I was looking at last night for the last 4 seasons, the 3 seconds and then the win, this is their most pragmatic season. They've been more... they've scored more goals in previous seasons. They've been more expansive, let's say. better to watch. And he made a conscious choice this season of becoming even more resilient and more difficult to play against.
Yeah.
And that is a brave decision, side, because if it didn't go well,
it can be castigated.
Yeah.
I mean, success in football has an irony because it's often an orphan. It's attributed to one person, and failure has many fathers. In this instance, success has many fathers because I think you can take it back to the decision to break up the dressing room, to get rid of Aubameyang, and to be supported in doing that. For Kroenke to have the penny drop and bring his son into it, so there's day-to-day interaction between the ownership model and their change of direction from being people that were prepared to invest very little to people that are prepared to give the first-team manager the tools to go up against the opposition. So I think all of these things on the way bring out this end results.
Not wig.
It's a nutty canister, either way. I mean, look at the nut.
Bob Odenkirk!
Saul was great. He was just a breath of fresh air.
Amelia Clark! Star Wars versus Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, definitely. I'm loyal.
Don't tell me. Alex Hassel!
In season 2, a lot of us get our clothes off.
You do know you did that in season 1.
Exactly, that's true, yes.
Just 6 minutes to see this sorry mess at home. What's the listener say?
Richard in Banbury says, great to see you in the shop again today, Paul.
Yeah, lovely.
That was very nice.
Richard.
Martin Chester, 15 greatest game of the week. Chill out, Charlie. I don't know what you're on about. Call this a kids' game. The Banbury cake can be used for chippy paper. Sheriff Fatman. That's the Bradford City DJ. How is this still a feature? Utter nonsense. But here we are. That's Reese. 24 out. See you same time next week.
Yes, good stuff.
There we are. And plenty more. Express and
Thank
Star
you for
is
all
in
of those.
Wolverhampton. There we are. Very nice.
Yeah.
Get your Express and Star.
Thank you for all of those. On to birthday 6, and it's 1712.
Sorry,
correct.
just clarification. 1712.
No problem. Okay, Andy.
Okay. Can you still see me? I can't see myself.
Oh,
all right.
Can you still see?
Yeah, we can see.
there I am.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, lovely. Yes, I just wanted to
Put some clothes on, for goodness sake. Yeah.
Okay, he was the former majority owner of Everton. It's Farhad Mashiri.
Farhad Mashiri, this man.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wanted to send him a birthday card, actually, but I only know him as Farhad, and I just couldn't remember his last name. But I know somebody who would.
Farhad Mashiri. It's my old chum, Farhad Mashiri.
There he is.
Du Châtelet.
It's not Du Châtelet's birthday, it's just Farhad Mashiri.
On this
It
Thursday
must be
lunchtime.
73. I'm going 73, Farhad Mashiri.
Yeah, pretty good. 74.
71.
Oh, okay.
Eagles took one away there.
Paul 19, Charlie 15.
Oh, it's a tight old game. On to birthday number 7.
4 in it.
Okay, it's the actress Francesca Annis.
Oh, yeah.
Francesca Annis.
Oh, yeah.
And unusually, she's a fan of both Spurs and West Ham. She's had to admit that for her, this season has been an Annis horribilis.
Oh, yeah.
Francesca's actually my neighbour
Is she?
for 2.5 decades, almost 2.5 decades. For 24 years, I've been living next door to Annis.
All right.
Annis.
We won't finish that off. We won't finish that off in the German style.
After the Greg Dyke joke, I'm pleased that was how the Francesca Annis gag went.
Yes. How old is she?
What are we going to say? How old is she?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
79.
She's probably in that vicinity.
Might be miles out.
Maybe a bit younger, but not much. 77, I'm going to go.
No, a bit Regals today, Paul. It's 81.
Wow. Okay, well.
Commenting on your play, Paul.
Charlie 2 out, 23-17, 6 in it. Charlie in the lead, 3 to go.
Very tight.
Very close. Good game. It's like serious.
Yeah, it is. We've got game faces.
Serious game.
Birthday number 8.
This one was quite handy for me because we were talking about a guest with the same name this week. It's Dick Gaughan. Dick Gaughan, singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed his film on greyhound racing. Yes, Gaughan to the Dogs.
That's right. Did you get Gaughan in 60 seconds? You went Gaughan in the USA?
All of that.
Mark
Gaughan
Nicholas, a big fan. Gaughan!
Yeah, of course.
Gaughan!
One Gaughan every minute. So who was it again?
Gaughan
Sorry.
free.
It was Dick Gaughan. The
pupil.
Dick Gaughan.
Dick Gaughan.
You are.
82. Dick, don't do the Dick Gaughan joke, Charlie, because I know you want to. There's a setup in your mind.
I was thinking of
where's
that cue ball going is what I was thinking.
82.
82. Well, I want to stay in with you there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 84.
78.
Wrong way, Regals.
Sorry, Dick.
Paul 27, Charlie 23, 4 in it, 2 to go. Charlie in the lead.
Oh, great game. Birthday number 9 now.
Birthday number 9. 2 old favourites to finish with. It's the tennis player and All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club chairwoman, Debbie Jevons.
Oh, yeah.
And when we worked together, actually, my job was to pick her up first thing in the morning. Trouble is, she was always sleeping through her alarm. I couldn't rouse her. There were many days when I was knocking on Jevons' door.
Half an hour of Charlie's bullying, and Jevons knows I'm miserable now.
Wow.
He's been quite kind.
I've been very nice to you, Jeff. I've been laughing at your jokes, all sorts.
How old Debbie Jevons? Debbie Jevons. How old is she?
Can you just tell me what she does again, please, Andy?
Yeah, she was a tennis player. She's now the chairwoman of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club.
And is still in place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tennis player.
Or as of this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Fast moving world.
You never know.
Heard.
Tennis and
70.
That's Crookie's just told us no, he hasn't. She's still very much in the job. 59.
Fast moving world.
59.
Not that fast moving. She's 66.
Oh, okay. So, wow, where does that leave
in the middle?
us?
Oh, you've had a bit of a shocker today.
I
You're
have
7
not
out
played
on that.
well.
On
As
to
Christian
34.
Romero staying in Argentina has really upset me.
It has.
Really
Charlie,
thrown me.
4 out onto 27, so 7 is...
so winnable.
No, get it right, Jeff. Your maths is
7 out,
Yeah,
which
3,
means he's on 34.
6.
No?
You all
Yeah,
right?
34-27.
Well, take your shoes and socks off. So I've got to be 8 either way, basically, yeah? Is that right? 8 either way.
I mean, it's easy.
Is that right?
8 either way is so easy.
Let's go, Andy.
Jeff looks like he's still working it
You're
out.
right, Jeff.
Yeah. No, it is right. It is 34-27, but for some reason I think it's Charlie just getting
But
to
at least the quality of the jokes has been better this week, Jeff.
Yeah.
Not mine.
Thank you, Charlie.
30 seconds. Come on.
Okay, it's the Astronomer Royal, the famous astronomer, I say famous. It's Professor Malcolm Longair.
Right.
Malcolm Longair. And I knew his fiancée. She originally came from Croxteth. Yes, she was a hair lover from Liverpool.
Long-haired lover from Liverpool.
And that's it.
Malcolm Longhair, what does he do?
Every year, brilliant. Love
What does he do, Andy?
What's he doing, Andy?
Astronomer. He's an astronomer.
He is an astronomer.
Yeah.
And that's
As he
all we've
was
got.
last year.
He was last year.
Yes, Astronomer Royal for
Be
Scotland.
a bit much if he was a plumber
The
last year.
astronomer royal makes a difference,
Yeah.
doesn't it? You know,
Astronomer royal for
and
Scotland.
I'm 8. I got 9.
Yeah, go on.
Sure.
No, 8. I've got to be 8
Yeah.
either way. Yeah.
Okay. The astronomer royal.
Great.
80.
That's a good guess. I'm going to go 88.
Professor Malcolm Longair is 85.
Oh, it was enough, Charlie.
South Devon forever.
Congratulations. 37-32. Charlie, 5 wins in 7. 5 wins in 7 for Charlie.
Eat it!
Thank you, Charlie. A good winner as always. I'll see you tomorrow with Andy, building up to the last day of the Premier League season, the playoff, and a whole lot more.
What a winner.
Thanks,
the
Charlie.
People's favourite.
Always
Yes.
lovely to play with you.
Get it.
Have a great weekend.
Good luck Sunday, Paul. I mean it.
Thank you very much. There we are. That's coming up next on Drive. It's Andy Goldstein. Steve Bruce is with Andy. I'm sure you should be patting him on the back, as we said earlier on, for bringing John McGinn to your fine club, Villa fans. He'll tell you, hopefully, the full story over the next 3 hours.
got to make a change.
Oh my God, Mwani's one of the worst players I've ever seen. He's give the ball straight to Cole Palmer. He's give the ball straight to Cole Palmer. We're going to go 2-0 down. I'm telling you, we're going to go 2-0 down. I told you! I told you! I told you! I told you!